I believe the it's the present tense or like the ing at the end, right? Turning him to giving. That's where you add the y in the middle. That's why it's now done. But anyway, with that aside, as you can see in the title, serious times. All right. I'm sure we're all aware about the times that we're living in. Matter of fact, let's start with that in uh, First Thessalonians, the fifth chapter, the first verse. We're gonna go through that chapter. And then experience. Uh, yeah, it talks about the times and the seasons, brethren. You have no need that I write unto you, because that's the times we're in. And then I mean, at this point now, we're saying that pretty much with everything going on with Ye and Kyrie Irving and all of that, which I'm sure it's not just going to be those two, because now it's getting to the point where some people are either going to stand up and say, nah, you know what, they ain't saying nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about people within that league, because soon they're going to start having a purge. They're going to start purging people within these industries who hold quote unquote same or similar ideology as Kyrie or Kanye um, um, or Hebrew Israelites. Okay, and they're gonna start saying, no, we ain't got no, the league doesn't have toleration for such, yada yada. They're gonna start doing that. Okay, you're gonna have some people that are gonna say, hey, look, you know what, he ain't saying nothing, and then you're gonna have majority of people that are gonna say, no, no, you know, keep their mouth shut. Okay, but the Most High is gonna deal with you. You know, got it? So we get into that point where now they're openly saying it. Right, the article we went into last night, it was from Rolling Stones, which is pretty known. Okay, and they didn't usually what they would do is they would basically they would blend it. You know, they would try to strike with deceptive angles where they won't directly say Hebrew Israelites, but they'll say, you know, extreme this, or you know, black this or black that. But this time they came straight and direct. Okay, so now it's in the mainstream. Pretty much everybody's aware of what's going on. It's going on social media. It's going on mainstream media. So they're already aware. And now what they've done is they're tying in Kanye and Kyrie Irving to Hebrew Israelites. Oh, this is where they got their ideologies from. In that article, they say a lot of things which aren't really true. All right, but they put a lot of labels in there. You know, and as I was saying, it's to basically paint us in a negative light, but that's okay, because Yahweh Shai said that would happen. All right, and really what this is a fulfillment of prophecy. The Lord said, I mean, hold on a second. Anybody who's been watching, you can go back years ago and watch the videos, and you'll literally hear us telling you that this point was going to come where they're going to start demonizing us. They're going to call us all manner of names. You're going to be calling us the T word and all of these different things. We said that would happen. So if your eyes are open and you've been paying attention, you'll see, wait a minute. That is prophecy. Go ahead.
First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you.
So just like in this time, if you've been paying attention, right, true brethren, you don't need us to come and explain to you what's going on. What does all this mean? I was watching the video that Elder Apostle Tahar put up. It was a clip of Dave Chappelle going into the industry and all of these things. And you got some simple ass people in there, man. There's some things that he says that is pretty serious, but you got people trying to laugh or clap as if it's a part of the act. And it was going over some people's heads. But he was literally exposing them. Now he got to watch his back, because they might just take him out. Who knows? Okay, but as he was going into it, exposing the how they refer to him as the artist, you know, you're not you. Like the Snickers commercial, you're not you when you're hungry. Well, you're not you when you sign that contract. Okay.
Funny, I was learning, just watching a video before he started. Well, Little Kim's ex-boyfriend, I think his name is World. He had an interview with what's his name, Wendy Williams, and he was basically exposing the industry as well, saying that they're all homophobic, homo. They do all types of things to get that dollar and things like that. So it's like it's out there.
Yeah, and that's why some of them don't want to say anything, because it'll expose them. They're embarrassed. That's what they actually had to do.
That's why 50 said you making it hot for him.
Yeah.
Him. And he actually labeled video I was watching. He labeled 50 Cent as well. It's like he's one of those that behind.
Wow.
But yeah, he's one of those guys that, oh, I got shot 9 times and all that. But yet here it is, you're afraid of the heat coming on you from, the people that are above you. But yet, you rap about gangster rap and these type of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, now when the heat comes on you, it's like, ah, nah, chill out.
But it's all a facade because in order to cover up what they have to do, they got to push that persona of like I'm gangsta, I'm gangsta, I'm tough, tough, all of that. People that go super extra tough, extra to prove, like as if they have something to prove. I gotta prove to you that I'm a gangster. Nobody, don't test my gangster, nigga. Nobody said that, and nobody said anything. But if you feel like you have something to prove so bad, then there must be something that either you're insecure about, or something that just keeps eating at you. If nobody comes, nobody here it is. You got a criminal, right? Or somebody that does a criminal act, maybe he commits murder. You know what this person's gonna do? Whatever conversation comes up, they're gonna feel on edge, even if it's not even remotely close. What you mean by that? What's that supposed to mean? You accusing me of something? And that's how you know that, hey, that's something. So even if our intention is not knowing you, you're gonna make it sus. Now we're gonna start, why is guy acting all weird and shit? Whenever we talk about people going missing or shovels, he gets all antsy and shit. Oh, what's the problem with shovels? So you gotta watch this guy. So when they push that super hard, I'm gonna get you, I killed this many niggas, you gotta watch them, man. You know?
It's like trigger words.
Yeah, like trigger words, exactly. But yeah, red flag. But yeah, man, all this is happening is all prophecy. And it's not gonna stop and it's not gonna slow down. Now, of course, being in this world, we're not of this world. You don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing and vice versa. So you do what you gotta do, but you don't go around exposing everything that you do into when you in the matrix, for example, you watch the movie The Matrix, there were certain times when they had to blend in because you had the agents going around. So because of that, Neo didn't just go around flaunting that he's the chosen one. So when he was in the Matrix, right? When he was out of the Matrix, when they were in the ship and all, everybody knew. But whenever they went into the Matrix, sometimes they had to keep cover. Like when I think it's Matrix Reloaded or one of those, when he went to find the key master or the key maker, and they had to basically be all cover and talk to these people and try to. So that's how you got to be.
Right.
When you go to your job or you at work, whatever the case is, that's necessarily the environment to go out there and proclaim and shout and everything like that because you're using wisdom. Now the time is going to come where it's not going to be possible if the Lord wills it that way for you to be able to move as a serpent in this world in righteousness. Okay, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be pretty obvious. They're going to find out whether it's your job or your family, whoever it is. They're gonna find out because people are dumb, but they're not too stupid to an extent. They can put two and two together. Eventually, they'll start as this demonization starts to go more mainstream, and they start to mention certain keywords, certain things you put here and there. People that you talk to that you never told them that you're an Israelite, but you drop little hints here and there. They're gonna start piecing two and two together. They're gonna start saying, "Wait, yeah." Now that I think about it, he always does talk about like these elites and like this group of people that are always controlling everything, and like like he's somewhat secretive about certain things, and he does teach about like so he mentioned this about Jews, like real Jews being black at one point. They're gonna so is he? Let me ask. Is he one of these people? People are gonna start doing that, and then eventually it's gonna get to the point where because you're gonna have certain individuals in this so-called in the truth, but they're only here because they can keep it low key. And when the heat comes, they're gonna feel like they gotta pick a side. You shouldn't have to pick a side. Your side should already be picked. You should already be in the truth. That's the real you is not the worldly you. The real you is the you that's in the truth. And the worldly you is your couple, right? Superman, Clark Kent is the real Clark Kent. Superman is Clark Kent, not Kal El. All right, the real Kal El is Superman, not Clark Kent. Clark Kent is just the persona. But I saw your hand, the boy. No,
Yeah, I just wanted to say, did y'all mention Kyrie is in the news right now too?
Yep.
For his comments, whatever the case may be, but they got him in the news with him showing a tattoo of Star David. So even if he's talking about other rhetoric, it might be because they know that he is on to dealing with who he knows who are the true Jews. And Dave Chappelle also had said, I'm gonna get in trouble for telling y'all this. When
Yep.
that video that was coming out before he even started talking, he was like, I'm not supposed to be telling y'all this. So like I said, man, they being revealed right now, according to
Get that too.
Isaiah 47, they being revealed.
Yep. The
It
truth is
does,
coming out.
yeah.
Got a quick precept. Going off the brother's point about being secretive, Proverbs 11 and 13. A talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. Yeah, yeah. Talebearer revealeth secrets. Somebody that can't keep their mouth shut. Like when David was running from Saul, Jonathan was able to conceal the matter with David because Jonathan's really of the house of David.
Right.
But if he would have just been a talebearer yapping his gums, he would have revealed David. So certain times where you got to be low. As mighty as David was, there's certain times in the scriptures where he had to keep it low. Howard Shai wasn't out there saying, I'm the Messiah. It was just clearly apparent from what he was doing. But he wanted to, if anything, conceal it more so and let the miracles speak for themselves.
Right. And since you just mentioned that, that's actually heavy, right? Because you know how we always talk about you got these other groups that predominantly go off, but you're gonna have the elect come out of some of them or come out of them. And I just thought about that dynamic with David and Jonathan because Jonathan was from the house of Saul because he was the son of Saul. But in actuality, in the spirit, he's really of the house of David. So in the spirit, the Lord is going or took him. So I'm sure when Jonathan came back, he came back on the side of David. So the Lord really took him, from that area and brought him to the right place. But yeah, to your point, that's pretty much what it is. That's the times that we're in, and you are gonna, especially in these times, they are gonna, as the heat comes closer and closer, the oh shit realization is gonna sink in. Like, damn, we really hated of all men, you know. Man, this is getting, and then you're gonna have, yeah, how I said it, that people are gonna turn on each other, betray one another. That's gonna happen. Okay, that's gonna happen. But you got to be ready for that.
If I may say, as we come out here every Saturday, when we are in Superman mode right now, Kal-El mode right now, but when we done with our studies, when we done with our lesson, we done with camp, we go back to Clark Kent. That's using wisdom.
Right.
So Jonathan was using wisdom when he didn't reveal that secret. But it's no secret, but we put it out there on the web, but we don't make it obvious and heat it up like you said. Howard Shah running around saying, I'm the Messiah, heating himself up. We don't do that because we know that that's just you're liable to be persecuted immediately for something that you could have did more. You could have used more wisdom on. Like when we go to work, a lot of us don't even tell people at work that we Hebrew Israelites.
Yep.
But sometimes we're going to get to a point where we have to. But if you don't have to, the wise judgment is not to just be running around telling people about scriptures and trying to, because ultimately it's going to get you fired.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It got me fired before when I first came into the truth. Because I was telling them about Christmas, and next thing you know, I was laid off, and they didn't even have a good reason. They didn't want to tell me because I was working amongst Amalekites,
Of course.
and they didn't want to just come out and say, "Yo, you acting like you the true Jew, you out of here." That's what ultimately happened. But just use wisdom when you out here. The Lord know your work. We out here every Saturday. We do what we doing, then we out. We don't walk around with our garments on, parading through the whole city because, like, what you looking for trouble?
I had to conceal himself, you know.
That's right.
But yeah, let's get that in First Thessalonians.
First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Uh-huh.
For when they shall
What it means by that is that it's gonna come unexpectedly, right? When a thief comes at night, especially at night, why do thieves come at night? Because they can use the darkness for cover. If a thief comes, and you ever seen a thief coming at night wearing all white or wearing a neon colored attire, then that's a really bad thief. That's a thief that wants to get caught, right? They use stealth, and you have the word steal in the word stealth. So that's what they do. They use the night as cover, and they do that because what happens in the nighttime? People are asleep. Okay, and currently right now a lot of people are asleep, but they're starting to wake up. Nevertheless, the day of the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night, meaning that it's going to catch people, a lot of people off guard. They're not expecting it. All right. Now, as a matter of fact, real quick, DeBar, could you get Amos 5 and is it 5? Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. I think it's
18.
5 and 18. Come. Because that's a part of the reason why it's going to come as a thief in the night. Because number one, people are not going to be able to read the signs to understand, okay, we're in the time period. The reason all of these things are happening is because we're in a time of biblical prophecy being fulfilled. Now is the time to be bold, okay? Of course, in wisdom, but you got to, the Lord said, if you deny him before men, he's going to deny you before the Father. And none of these people over here created us. None of these people over here deliver you. Who? Or do any of these people give you air to breathe? Do any of these people protect you? They don't do anything for you. Whether it's on news or whoever the hell it is, you don't owe any of them anything. They didn't put you here, and they can't take you out. The only one that can do that is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So that's who our fear, our loyalty, our respect, all of that goes to. And if our power commanded us to come here and teach the truth, that's exactly what we're going to do. All right? Our forefathers, that's exactly what they did. That's the legacy of the prophets, to come and teach the truth, regardless of whatever threat you may face. You know why they have the term Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets? If the prophets agree with everything that they said, they wouldn't be killed. But guess what? In this time, the Lord said, "Do my touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm." So in this time, when you do come physically, you think this isn't the Black Panthers, this isn't any other group that you may infiltrate it. But when you come to try and touch the men of the Lord, you're going to get a completely different reaction than all those previous times. Remember, the Lord said, I have sent forth the apostles last, okay, as it were pointed on to death. Nobody else is coming after us, okay?
Just to mention the point, what was that? Elijah,
Yep.
when the men were coming after him, he said, if I be a man of the Lord, fire will come down from heaven.
Yep. And consume them. And it happened, what, 3 times? That's when the guy learned some knowledge. Just, let me talk to him nice. There's the third guy, he came with some sense. 3, right? Say, he done burnt. No, I'm all right. But guess what? The Lord is going to do that to protect his men. And they feared him. So even kings knew how to approach him. Don't just go and try to grab up this guy, man. Something's gonna happen to you. You know, you gotta come correct. See, the prophets were an exception. You could look at Elisha. When the 40 children were making fun of him, go up thou bald head, what happened to them? He called, I think it was 2 she bears, and came and mauled those children. So the Lord has given us power. And Revelation 11 talks about that. Okay? We have a defense mechanism. That's why we're not afraid. That's why we come out here boldly. Our lives are in the hands of the Lord anyway. You got it, DeMar.
Right. This is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you?
Now, this isn't referring on to us who are hastening the coming of the return of the Lord, because the end that we hope it is for us is salvation. But the majority of these so-called Christians, they have no idea what the true day of the Lord is going to be. That's why it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, because you don't know what that day is going to be like. They have a false imagination. They really think that the return of the Lord, the second return, is just going to be the one day everybody's just their clothes are going to pop off, and they're just going to fly up into the heavens naked into a big ass ship. You know, they just go, their hands and their feet, and then they just go up. And then there's like trumpets and holy music playing and shit. And then that's it. You see them, they go up, or eventually you just don't see them anymore. You don't know where they went. Did they go into space? Did they just go up? Yeah. Oh. They just gonna go up. That's what they're imagining. But the Messiah isn't coming down to do that. He's coming to bring destruction. Isaiah 63 tells you that. The slain of the Lord shall be many. So you gonna call him anti-S? There's more on that?
The day of the Lord is darkness and not light.
Exactly. And what's going to be happening in the day of the Lord? All hell is going to be breaking loose. See, at the same time, it's strategic, because when they start pushing this heavy, We're not going to be able to come out. They're going to outlaw this. We're not going to be able to come out here. The same thing they did to the apostles all those years ago. When they caught them teaching, what did they do? They arrested them, right? They're going to make it criminal for us to teach. They're going to make it criminal for us to bring out the truth. And that's okay, though, because when all hell starts breaking loose, people are going to come looking right back for those answers. All right.
Precept?
Yeah, come, you got it.
Matthew 10 and 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth.
And that's red letter. Why? Because the Messiah is the one saying that. He said, think not that I have come to send peace on the earth. The Lord didn't come to make everything okay and sweet for everybody. No. Go ahead.
I came not to send peace, but a sword.
So what's a sword used to do? A sword is a killing instrument. It's an instrument of war. So what is the Lord, when he says I came to send a sword, what does that mean? That's violence. Okay, that's death. That's war.
2nd Ezra 13.
That's it, exactly. Exactly, 2nd Ezra 13. Does it on that?
A little more. This goes into the father and mother separation.
Yep. That's it.
Matthew 10 and 35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father.
Meaning that the Lord is coming to set you against. Why is that? Because upon the Lord's return, you're going to have those that are of the elect that are going to wake up and those that are not, that are going to be in the war, and that's going to cause a division. So, your father's your father, but in the spirit, you guys are different because the spirit of the Lord is on you, but the spirit of the Lord may not be on him. He may have a demon on him. He may be unholy. And the Apostle Paul talks about that, right? Be not unequally yoked with unbelievers. So the Lord is going to cause that division because when you start to wake up, you'll see things differently. You won't see eye to eye. You won't agree on the same things. All right?
And that's a part of our legacy because Abraham left Terah, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
And his father was an idolater.
Yep, exactly.
So that's part of our legacy is to separate.
Yep, that's what it means to be holy. And that's what the Lord is doing. So that's a beautiful thing to see how the Lord works. We're in the working. We're actually a part of the story of the greatest legacy. I mean, honestly, when the Lord comes back with the angels, we're gonna be among them. Imagine that. That's something that people can't even imagine. They're gonna be in shock seeing chariots coming out, seeing angels, and then seeing you. What the hell's the bar doing up there? That's my homeboy from. They ain't even gonna call you the bar. They're probably gonna think remember your worldly name. Hold up, what the But then, like the Lord said, we're gonna be changed. We're gonna go up as men and come down as gods. Shit. And that's something you got to think about, man. All this leads up to that. These are a part of those prophecies leading up to that point. And then eventually, when the smoke settles, when everything is set in this proper order, all these people are gonna see it again. And they're gonna remember these are those men that were on the corners. This is this person that was saying this to me. Shit, I used to cut his hair in the barbershop. I went to high school with him. I was
Yeah. What the Lord has us doing now is going to echo out into eternity.
That's it.
50 Cent ain't going to be remembered in the kingdom. Nobody's going to give a shit about power. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. He got his little glory. He got his consolation on this side.
Yeah.
But what we're doing, what the Lord has us doing, this is going to be spoken of from generation to generation. These are those that stood up against the wicked, at the end of this current world.
Yeah. Well, a perfect example is when you read the scriptures, right? Today, when you think of the Bible, what are the names that you remember? Moses, Daniel, the Lord, the Messiah, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Ezekiel. And this is universal. Everybody knows about Moses. Even atheists know about Moses. But you mean to tell me that in all those different generations, you didn't have celebrities? You didn't have musicians? You didn't have gladiators? Now, in this world, they're glorified, right? In Moses' time, I'm sure, or even in the time of the prophets, Jeremiah, whatever, the Messiah, you had people that were celebrities that were more glorified than the Lord. But who actually gave the eternal glory that's known from generation to generation? The Lord gave these men names and legacies that carried on from generation to generation. We don't even know that the existence of some of these people that were in the past as entertainers or whatever they are, no matter how famous they may have been. See? So that goes to show you that it is those that did the will of the Lord that carry the legacy on. Those are the ones we hear about today. Just like at this time, like you said, when we go to the kingdom, our names are going to be known. Not 50 Cent and Tupac and Drake and all that. Nobody's going to remember these men as they're just gonna be a part of that time. You know?
They're gonna be remembered for being destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just gonna be counted as statistics. Right. You know, oh, the masses that got burnt up in the second death.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's your legacy.
That's it. Yeah, just like number 16, you had those men of renown. They came against Masha and Aaron, and Aharon, Moses and Aaron. But nobody knows like the individual. They was just the ones that got swallowed up by the earth. Right? Nobody.
Yep.
That's your legacy, which is a shameful legacy.
Yep. Yep. You had the main ones, and then after that, everybody else was just a part of the wicked men.
Right. Exactly. Their families just got swallowed up.
That's it. Crushed. That's it. That's all you're just gonna be known as part of the wicked men. And there were wicked men in Israel who rose up against the prophets, and that's it. That's all you are. Damn. Oh yeah, you got it. Yep.
Matthew 10:35. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Yeah, and that's expected. And the Lord is going to be doing that. And see, the beautiful thing about the Spirit of the Lord is it's unchallenged. It doesn't matter how you feel against the truth, how you feel about the Lord. The scriptures say what? You can do nothing against the truth before the truth. You can't stop the Spirit of the Lord. It's going to do what it's set to do. Isaiah 45 or what's that? 58. My word be that goeth out shall not return unto me void. So when the Lord says I'm setting a daughter against her mother, guess what? Whether you like it or not, whether the daughter likes it or not, or the mother likes it or not, the way events play out is going to lead to that confirmation of what the Lord said. And at the end of the day, man, we have power. Okay? We, regardless of what you say about us, we have the understanding of the book. Nobody else has that. The Lord blessed us with that. And on top of that, he blessed us with faith. So it doesn't matter what you say, what you do. Oh, these guys are this, these guys are that. Guess what? The truth of the matter is there's a higher power, the creator, that's dealing with us.
What's up, Chris? Made a spectacle and all that. That car that was just right there, you should have seen the one. I'm like, broke their neck to look at. So I think the father told, I guess, his son or friend in the back, like, they know about it. They know who they are. I don't know what was said in the car, but obviously, yeah, that's part of them influence.
Oh, yeah. Because, see, when they see these articles, right, when they watch the news and they put these clips in there and they look at, whatever, Rolling Stones magazine or CBS News or Fox News, right? And they hear about the VHI and Kanye. People have heard about this. People, just like you would, if you hear, oh, damn, Kanye just made anti-Semitic or whatever, you're like, what, Kanye, what? When they say, oh, he learned it from the VHI, what a VHI, what is that? People are going to go type that in. They're going to type it in Google. It's probably going to lead them to a YouTube video, and they're going to get, even if they watch it for 2 seconds, all they're going to see is more than likely a sign or men with garments on, grouped up on the street corners. And that's all they need to see. So now in their daily life, they either going to remember, oh, I've seen those people. That's what they are. Or when they go about and they see us, they're going to say, hey, peace, hey, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. That's it. You be safe.
Shalom.
So, you know, at the end of the day, they're going to, I thought it was a regular individual pastor.
Swiss Beats at first.
Yeah.
Look like a celebrity or something.
But yeah, so they're gonna say, damn, that's those guys, you know, and they're gonna start, oh, these are the people. So when they pass by, you know what they're gonna think of when they see us? They're gonna think of Kanye, they're gonna think of Kyrie, they're gonna think of anti-S. All right. And this, first off, prior to them coming out with all this stuff they're saying, this used to grab people's attention anyway. Damn near majority of people that pass by, even if they don't turn their neck, they from the side of their eye, they look to see what's that? What's the sign? Because they see names, then they see the lion, then they see they see 12 tribes. When you see Israel, you see 12 tribes, you see Judah, you see these names right here. They're gonna wait. Is this related to that stuff that they want? Oh, these guys are. It's gonna become a thing. All right. It's not gonna become a thing. It's already a thing. But we don't care. We don't care. We're still out here boldly. As a matter of fact, this is making us go harder because we're like, damn, the Lord is like, now is the moment. Now is the test. And it's gonna amplify more and more. But hey, it's the Spirit of the Lord, man. This is the will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. So be it. Okay. Remember, you came into this truth to serve the Lord. Anything else that happened to you in while you were in this truth was just an addition. It's just a part of your path, but you're on a mission. All right. We're all on a mission. We're all on the mission. Okay. You got some more?
One more verse.
All right.
Matthew 10:36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
Man's foes shall be there of his own household, because majority of the people of your household are going to be, hey,
Yeah, brothers don't.
hey, we're good. Majority of people of your household are going to be they that are persuaded by the or deceived by the God of this world through his media and all of those things. Okay, but at the end of the day, man, damn, I was going to say something. You go ahead, brother. If it comes out.
I'm gonna slide. I can run some bed with this back, and I got white men children, and they perform in another accord than how we deal with this Bible and this word. So a man quote, yeah, like scripture say, it's not gonna happen. Everybody else gonna be persuaded to what's going on according to either this world or the other doctrines that the Lord told us to cut communication.
I was going to add to your point, what you said about people are going to be persuaded what they see on TV. Like I was telling you a little bit earlier with my mother. I was watching Elder Tom's video where he was doing with Kanye, what 50 Cent said about Kanye, about he need to pull off. And my mother just came in my room, she saw me watching the video and had a pause on Kanye's face. And she was like, that man's a jackass and he's a fool. And I wanted to ask her, like, why is he a jackass and a fool? Right. But the spirit was like, but then I meditated upon, I'm like, this shows you, like the scriptures say, like our people are foolish. They just follow whatever the world is, whatever is going on in the media, they just follow it. Because like before this whole thing with Kanye, at least to me, I don't pay attention to famous people. This man was nobody. This man was just doing bugged out stuff, wearing a mask on straight, doing a whole bunch of weird stuff. Right. Nobody's paying attention to Kanye. Now all of a sudden, now he has his attention where he's saying that, the blood of Christ and all that, we're the real Jews and all that. Now all of a sudden, he's a jackass, he's a fool, this and that. But it's like, why is he a jackass and a fool? Because of the way the media is portraying him to be. The media is portraying him to be this evil figure, this guy, like, he's just saying all these I'm gonna just take what Elder Malcolm said, this anti-shield. And this and that. And it's like, before this, nobody pay attention to Kanye.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. No.
So why is it now he's evil? Why is it now this? Because of the way the media is portraying him. The minds of the people are swayed by the media.
Yep.
And they don't even realize it.
Yep. Because they're just done. They're cattle. They're Goyim. That's all right there. It's all right. So yeah, let's go back into First Thessalonians. Yeah, because it's all prophecy, man. We're part of the story, and we're hitting the climax. All right, we're in the rising action, and we're going higher and higher and higher. And Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is using us as instruments for His work. Okay, so hey, Lord willing, we continue and we endure unto the end, no matter what comes. Remember Romans 8, right? For all things work together for the good of them that love Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Because guess what? Isaiah 65:13 says that it's a lot. It says that my servants shall eat, they shall be hungry. My servants shall drink, they shall, my servants shall rejoice, they shall howl for vexation of spirit. Now, my servants are the ones that are going to get persecuted, while they are, adding to the persecution and all of these different things. But guess what? It doesn't end here. Okay, we may be demonized, we may be persecuted, but guess what? Now comes the hard part. Now comes the all hell breaking loose. Now comes the answers that you seek, but you can't find it. Now comes the time when you got to start. You got to watch your family. Do you think it just ends here? Oh, well, we finally managed to get these guys off the street. Now that's the end of it. No. Now it's when they say, oh, damn, you just opened the can of whatever you just opened. Because Jacob's trouble is still going to happen. As a matter of fact, it's speedily approaching. And it's going to finish off with a bang during World War III. And guess what? As all these things start to kick off, they're going to remember, yeah, I know that they said they were whatever, but now they did talk about this World War III stuff, though. They were talking, you're going to see more chariot sightings. All of these supernatural things are going to be happening, and people are going to be bugged out. They're going to be stressed out. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be dead. They're going to be sick. They're going to be suffering. And we're going to be good because we stay faithful to the Lord. Now, for those that during this trial turn their back, and stop being faithful to the Lord, you're going to get it worse. You're going to be beaten with many stripes. You're going to be trodden underfoot. They're going to flatten your face like a pancake. You're going to see the bottom prints of a martial law troops boot on your face. That's what it's going to be like. Got it.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, Then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape.
Exactly. When they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction is going to come upon them as travail upon a woman with child. When a woman is with child, and that moment comes when her water breaks or she starts having those contractions, those labor pains, that ain't no joke, you know. But it comes suddenly. When that water breaks, it doesn't matter where you are, what you think you're doing, who you. But if it once it hits, and all you hear is the baby's coming. And then you start seeing them screaming and the moving and all of that stuff, and they can't control it. They can't stop it. She's going into labor. She's wherever she's at. Oh shit, flip up. Whatever the case is. But they can't stop it. That pain hits them, and they have to go through it. Okay, because whatever you do, there's a baby inside of you, and it's ready to come out. Your body is everything. It's already in motion. Now you got to get your mind locked in. So the hell that's about to break loose is not going to give you an option. This woman is pregnant. She's overdue. Okay? She's overdue, and all hell is about to break loose. And the hell breaking loose is metaphorically that baby coming out. So guess what? It's going to come just like that. You're going to start seeing the drip, and then boom. And there ain't going to be nothing that these people can do about it, man. When it says sudden destruction, that's exactly what it means. Destruction. 2nd Ezra 15, 2nd Ezra 16, 2nd Ezra 6, 2nd Ezra 13. All of these prophecies are going to come to pass. What?
Verse 4, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
Right, we're not in darkness. We're always watching. We got our matter of fact. Can a brother get Isaiah 62? I believe it's 62 and 6. I have set up watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem. So we're not in darkness. And also, what's that? Isaiah 8 and 20. If they speak not according to this word. So we're not in darkness because we have the light. Who's the light? Yahushua. All right. Yeah. Whoever got
Isaiah 62 and 6. I have set watchmen upon thy walls.
So what's a watchman's job? A watchman's job is supposed to watch out for any evil. Watch out to give the message and the warning to the people. So that's what we're doing. So whatever these devils come up with, whatever they try to set up, guess what? And they demonize that term devil, but the word, if you are truly the scholars that you claim to be, you can look up the word, which means a deceiver. So if you call somebody a devil, it means that they're a deceiver. And if you look at the track record of these devils, you'll find out that they are deceivers. So why demonize the term? If the term is so bad, why does it exist?
That's right. If I can make a quick point too. Watchmen in the ancient world, they would also watch for tidings from other messengers. Yep. So sometimes they see a messenger come in, or there must be a message, and then they're going to bring it to the city. So like you might see a brother bring out a point in the video, and then another brother does the video before you know it, it spreads out to everybody. Everybody knows about it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Back in Isaiah 62 and 6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Which that vantage point, because when you have a fortress and you have the walls, that's where you can see. You can see more. Like when you go, like you see some of these ancient movies, somebody goes up to the wall, you'll see somebody pop up their head from the top of the wall, either with a crossbow or whatever. Who goes there? You know what I mean? Like what you need? No, I'm just a messenger. Then this messenger, open the gates. Then they open you hear the thing moving, then the big ass gate starts to slowly open. Then they let the messenger in. That's how it is, right? So the messenger, the watchman, is upon the wall to watch because he can see further. All right, he can warn. Yo, hold on, that does not look like one person. It looks like a fleet. Warn the people, prepare, whatever the case may be. Okay, so that's our job. So we've been given a vantage point. We've been given the eyes to see. We've been given the scriptures, the foresight. Go ahead.
Which shall never hold their peace day nor night.
Now, when you hold your peace, it means you stop talking. All right, if somebody's talking and you tell them hold your peace, you're basically telling them stop talking. Don't say anything else. So the scripture is saying here, we're never going to hold our peace, meaning we're not going to shut up. We're not going to stop. We're not going to pack up shop and leave because the Lord told us not to. He set us up not to hold our peace. He set us up to keep on prophesying, to keep on pushing this truth.
And it says, finishing off that verse, ye that make mention of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, keep not silence.
Ye that make mention of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Now that's a threat to this world because what comes with making mention of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai? Everything. Okay? The heritage, who is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai? Oh, he's the God of the Israelites. So who are the Israelites? Oh, well, that we can't really talk about that part. you know, then you're not truly set up of the Lord. The righteous are as bold as a lion. Why do the righteous have to be bold as lions so they can come out and declare to you the whole truth? I have not shunned to declare unto you the whole counsel of the Most High. Yeah, precept.
Yeah, quick one. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 10. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
The time is at hand, and the time is at hand now, even more so than ever. See, the prophecies in the book are going to come to pass no matter what. But we have been blessed to understand. We understand the whole book of Revelation. We know what is it talking about, what's going to happen when, according to what? According to what prophecies. So we know what the Lord has set to happen. We know the game plan of the Most High. And that's something this world doesn't know. Y'all got to watch out because like Gamaliel said, if this be of the Most High, you can't overthrow it. Lest after you find yourself fighting against the Most High, and that's not a fight that you want to. You're going up against the God of war. The Most High is a man of war. Are you going to go up against him?
This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20.
That's right. Because it mentioned that we got the light. We're children of the light. To go on.
It says, to the law and to the testimony.
Which is really the whole book. Go on.
If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
So if they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. All right, they're in darkness. Isaiah 62 and 2. The whole world lieth in darkness, the gross darkness, the people. 60 and 2? Yeah, come, the water. All right, that's these people. They're in that darkness, but we speak according to the scriptures because we have the light, which is Yahweh Shai. And what did Yahweh Shai say? Lo, I come in the volume of the book. Okay, it is written of me. And Revelation 3 and 20 tells you that, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man open the door unto me, I will come in and sup with him, and he with me. So how is the Lord knocking? By sending out his prophets to come and give you the word. All right, and he's knocking at the door of your mind. So if you open up, if you listen and you take heed, the Spirit of the Lord is going to sup with you, and you're going to have that light.
I mean, say, any given Saturday, you approach any one of the brothers that's in his true sincerity, mainly, brothers under the umbrella of GMS, we come out here with the truth, whether we have the 100% truth, but we will give you, if you ask any of these brothers, we'll give you a rundown on the current events of the days of the things that's happening around the whole world pertaining to prophecy. We don't sit there and just talk out our ass. We knowing about facts upon, but they try to give us the watered down version. We go and research it even more to bring you more accurate occurrences. And pretty much when we tell you about events like whatever, game situation, Kyrie, whatever, the war, we gonna give you more in-depth information onto it because we going according to the scriptures and how the Lord put that spirit on us. Quick precept. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me. What he will say unto us, that's the spirit. When we go and find something that's like swept under the rug, don't want to be spoken about, we bring it out, it's with entirety and sincerity and truth. So when we bring out those things, it's through the spirit of the Lord, and that's him saying, speaking on to us.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Hey, the prophets are the top men on the earth. Okay.
Right.
Because the office the Lord has set us, because the spirit that the Lord made for us. All right. The kind of spirits that the prophets have is unlike any other. That's why the responsibility of the prophets are so unique. Only prophets can do what prophets do. And if you're not a prophet, you can't do what a true prophet can do. Who did the Lord give spiritual power to? If you read the scriptures, the prophets, the men of the Lord, okay, in their generations. But yeah, let's go back. Let's keep reading on that. And like the brother said, man, we're here to stand upon our watch. That's just the cold hard facts. All right, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai comes first. We fear the Lord and we believe these prophecies that are going to come to pass. So ain't no, we're not going, I got weak in the knees and I caved in. And here it is, all hell's breaking loose. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn back and try to call upon the Lord? No. You got to stand firm, man. Remember that everything that happens from now on to the end this is the last go around. There's not going to be another generation where we come back and we got to do this again, where you say, okay, last generation, I effed up, but this time I'm coming in strong, coming in hot, and I'm going to do it right all the way. No. This is that time. All right? This is that time. If you haven't been as hot, you better flame on. And if you've been hot, burn hotter. That's how you do it. You do what you got to do. Not what you want to do, but what you got to do. Right. You wake up, you don't want to come out here, you come out here. You're feeling tired and sleepy, you don't want to read, you read. You just got home from work, it's late, you don't want to do a sit down, you do the sit down. Do what you don't want to do because you got to do it. That's it. And if you're a disciple, you have to be disciplined. All right. Anybody got something?
I got something.
All right, go ahead.
Hebrews 6:4. For it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift and were made partakers of the Holy Spirit and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come, if they shall fall away.
If they shall fall away, which Yahushua said, which we're going to get that in Matthew 24, right? That some of them they're going to turn and persecute you. They're going to betray you. They're going to fall away. And just keep in mind that if you fall away, as we're reading here, it's impossible to do what?
To renew them again unto repentance.
That's it. And here it is. I mean, that's one of the dumbest things you can do. Here we are closest now than we've ever been. And you fall away now? Go on.
And it says, to renew them again unto repentance, seeing they crucify to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh.
So you had your chance because the Messiah went on the cross. Now you said, okay, I had that opportunity, but now I threw it away and I went back into the world. Now I want to come back and get another chance to come and repent. But the Most Yahushua is not coming back to go on the cross again for your ass. He did it once. In the book of Hebrews, it tells you it is appointed for once, for man to die once. It was talking about Yahushua. He had to go upon that cross once. That's it. Okay. So if you fall off this truth, you're thinking, oh, well, I fell out, but I'm coming back. I'm coming home. No, you wait. Coming for a missile. That's what you're coming for. Tell the world. Good.
And put him to an open shame.
Exactly. And that's not going to happen. Matter of fact, Yahushua is going to deal with you. All right? Because he's been given all power and all authority.
Right. Imagine. You got dudes that have seen chariots, seen miracles. The Lord cleaned up Israel.
All that gazing stock.
For real. Like the sun was green. Yeah, we're gazing stock. But he was in a trance because the spirit is just that powerful. Yeah, you got what was I just saying? Dudes that seen miracles and whatnot. And yet they went back to the same elements of the Gentiles and to the heathenistic traditions. Imagine that. That's a fearful thing.
Yeah.
Just like Judas, he was walking with the Lord. He was there with him and still went and betrayed him. So, hey, man, that's why we have to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and give diligence.
Pray. You got to ask that Psalm 51. Pray always that the Lord doesn't take that spirit away from you. Yeah, because, hey, for example, show you how the Lord can do anything, right? The Apostle Peter, which is the head, the Lord put the spirit on him to betray Yahushua, to deny him, to say that he didn't know him 3 times. And that's the head of the church. Okay, that's David himself, which, if anybody, right, he was the one say, oh, I'll die for you, And then boom, the Lord said no, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to do this. And that showed you even the power of Yahushua, because Peter couldn't help but do what he did at that point. It was set for him to do it. Right? And you saw how adamant he was, right? So it shows you that it's not, that's why the Lord said, nevertheless, not my will, but let thy will be done. Romans the 9th chapter said it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of the Most High that showeth mercy. See, if it was of Peter's will, he wouldn't have turned on the Lord. He would have gone straight to war. When he chopped off that servant's ear, he would have gone straight to war. but it wasn't his will. It was the will of the Most High. Showing you that's why you have to fear the Lord, because you can't keep the spirit on yourself. You got to pray for the Lord to keep that spirit upon you, and give the Lord a reason why. If you pray for the Lord, imagine one day you praying for the Lord to keep the spirit upon you. Maybe you go off, or maybe you don't, but you're just praying, oh Lord, please do not take your Holy Spirit away from me, and all of that. And an angel pops up and is speaking for the Lord and says, why? Why should I keep the Holy Spirit upon you? Are you going to have an answer? Especially if you mess up. And the Lord comes to you and says, you asking me to keep the Holy Spirit upon you. Why should I do that? I gave it to you. So how did you end up at a point where now you're afraid that I'm going to take it away from you? Clearly you're not doing something right, right? See? And that's why it's the Lord's mercy, because he can just as easily say, no, I have more than enough reason to take it away from you. Why should I show mercy to you? See? And in that moment, he can say, no, I ain't going to do it. Snuff his candle. Or he may say, you know what? I'm going to have mercy on him. That's the fear of the Lord, because he decides that. It's not up to you. It doesn't matter how much you weep, how much you cry, what you say. It's about the Lord. I'm either dealing with you or I'm not. End of story. Does it on that? Yep. All right. Let's go back to Thessalonians. Thessalonians.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief.
Right. So we got the light and the eyes to see. We got the eyes to see and the light. So we're directed on where to go, what to look for. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. You are all children of the light, and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness.
Nor of darkness. Because we got the light. So we're supposed to move in such a way. This world calls good evil and evil good. So if they're calling us evil, what should I tell you? Wait a minute. You're gonna trust. Wait. First off, yesterday when we did that stream, in the article it mentioned that when the individual said that the Jays had a hand in the slavery, they said that was anti-S. But then we looked up from the jishmuseum.org, which stated clearly that there's actual proof that you did have the Jays that had plantations and partook in the selling of slaves. So wait a minute, what's going on? Are we really that bad? Where are we getting our source from? Why are you coming at us so much? Why don't you go and outlaw every piece of information that's out there? As a matter of fact, outlaw some of the individuals from your community, because there's countless videos of scholars and Jays themselves who have come out and said, we're not the real Jays, you're the real Jays. So are they also anti-shield? Are you going to demonize them? Are you going to play those clips on Fox News when you play the other clips demonizing us? No, you ain't, because you're a bunch of devils too. And the Most High is the ultimate judge, and he's going to deal with you. The reason you're not going to do it is because the Most High is going to make sure you don't do it, because he doesn't want you to do it. And if you do, then it's because the Most High wants you to. Just like Yahushua told Pilate, you only have power to do what my Father has given you the power to do. That is where we have comfort. They're only going to do what the Most High set them up to do. They can't do anything more, and they can't do anything less. So you put your faith in the Most High because he has the controller, right? When you're in the car seat and somebody's in the driver's seat, they're the ones controlling the car. The car ain't moving of its own accord. If the car is going full speed and it's about to crash into the next car, you gotta talk to the driver, not the car. Esau is the car, the Most High is the driver. So you don't gotta fear. The one that controls the Most High. Let's go to Matthew the 24th chapter. And also, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay, and also 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter.
I got the article too.
Yep. Matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna start off in Matthew 24. At some point, we jump into 2nd Thess and then we'll go.
Verse 7.
Nah, first verse.
All right. This is Matthew 24,
Because
verse 1.
Matthew, the 24th chapter, is a very heavy chapter. It contains prophecies and history, but it also contains prophecies that the Messiah, Yahushua himself, gave when he was asked what were going to be the signs of the end of the world and of his return. The disciples explicitly asked him that. So the answers that he gave is very important that you pay attention to it, because those prophecies are taking place now. All right.
Verse 1. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple.
Uh-huh.
Verse 2. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things?
But now, hold on 1 second. What's so dangerous about what we're doing right now? If from the outward perspective, right? Anybody that walks by, we're not threatening anybody. We're not grabbing anybody. We're not harming anybody. But
Man, this guy just rolled down his window. I'm telling you, it's like it's every fucking car I see.
Mhm.
How about to cut you? It's every single car I see. Someone is breaking their neck.
that's all. This is all part of prophecy, and it's more so now than ever because now you already know what's going on.
But like you said, it shows that everybody knows who we are.
Yeah, they do. And at the end of the day, damn, what was I saying? No, you good. It'll come back. But the point is that, hey,
Ain't
yeah, matter
nothing
of
we
fact,
doing wrong.
yeah,
When they,
there you go.
you
Yes,
know,
yep, the water. I was gonna say, yep. What are we doing that's so bad? We're literally out here. If you analyze what exactly it is that we're doing, right? We're literally out here with the Bible, teaching out of the book. And most of the things we're going into is prophecy. Is what's gonna happen in the future. You can say, I believe what you're saying. You can say, I don't believe what you're saying. That's the end of that, right? You don't have, we're not grabbing you up, tying you down, telling you you got to come and stand here and listen to what we're telling you. If you don't care, you don't care. You keep walking. If you do, then you stop and you listen. If you watch, you watch. If you don't, you don't. Why is this such a hate demon? You guys are, hold up. What about all these other groups that are out here? There's groups that say far worse things. There's Edomites that say far worse things. There's Edomites that actually take action, that go into schools and shoot, and go into malls and shoot. But we are the worst people in the world. Wait a minute. How come when you come against us, that is perfectly fine, but when anybody speaks the truth, that's anti-shield? When you look at that article, a lot of the things that came out, they didn't explain why they said it was anti-shield. They didn't say, oh, this came from this source that's really credible. No. Here's some more anti-shield comments. Here's some more anti-shield tropes. That's what he said. That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, they love that. You know, but it goes to show you that they're a bunch of deceivers, man. Anybody who's swayed by that rhetoric, you got to stop and ask yourself, well, what are these guys doing that's actually so dangerous? They're reading out the book. This is what they believe, right? Do we not have freedom of religion? Do we not have freedom of speech? So what's the problem? What's the big deal? Why, if we touch any of you, no.
hey,
I mean, we are spiritual.
Yeah, spiritual.
hey, somebody just tried to attack Nancy Pelosi. And it wasn't nobody from camp that's out here doing this work.
Right.
It was like some maybe, so-called Edomite. Maybe. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say it ain't. But he wasn't out there talking about this when he was out there yelling out, "Where's Nancy?" and beat the damn husband up. That ain't our style. They don't got nobody that have those radical spells and do something like that coming from this community. So at the end of the day, I'm looking like, only people that got something to hide get upset as much as y'all do when we bring out this kind of truth. We gotta be extra careful when we say code word everything, because y'all looking for anything to attack what we doing wrong. But we very careful and we don't do nothing wrong. So we stand stern on what we got to say. And you gotta be, more a learned man and learn how to deal with somebody that's being very deceptive, and how you talk to somebody who's being cunning as a damn serpent.
Yep.
Because this is your platform. This is your uh, internet. This ain't ours, but the Lord is allowing us to use this in a wise way. So when we come out here, we know what to say, but the truth won't come out through this word. And that's all we really talk about is this word.
That's right. Quick point too. Where's all the small hat prophets at? Right. Word is good enough. I mean, all we do is bring out the Bible. If it's so damaging, if it's so wrong, just bring out your prophets, and why don't you prove us wrong? Because you can't.
Yeah. They don't got the truth. They don't got the answers. That's why they feel so threatened. We read out the Torah. We go into prophecies in there as well. And the book condemns them. So maybe you should outlaw the Bible, right? That's where everything we read is based off of. So if it's so dangerous, isn't the true ideology from the book? That's where we're getting it from. We read it precept after precept after precept. So maybe you should say, no, 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 you guys can't even read the Bible anymore. They might just be short of that. They might say the only thing you can use is the Torah, and you can't even get access to that. That's only for the James. All right? You guys are just hate. You're an extreme sect. We're an extreme sect. What extreme acts have we done? Are they more extreme than what you've done? I mean, are they extreme enough to go to other countries and bomb them? Are they extreme enough to set up a whole 2 years worth of a situation going on and come out and tell everybody that you lied about it? Are we that extreme? Or are we extreme enough to have enslaved us, told us that we were just black people, brought us up and still profit off of us and our fault? We built the whole country, but we're extreme. What happened with Pearl Harbor? They got these damn Japanese. We gotta blow the shit up on Japanese. Look at what they did. We can't stand for this. They had hate in their heart. They had anger. They didn't have to go overboard like that, but they did. So it's okay for you to have hate. But when somebody else is angry, that's a problem. Oh, do you see how much hate is coming off of this guy? These guys are a bunch of devils, man.
Hey man, you gotta tell me, man, that situation with Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that was just a test site.
Yep.
That was just used because history says that they knew about the attack was going to happen in order for them to retaliate. So if y'all knew, it's like it's an orchestrated event. What they call those? Not false
Yeah,
flag.
no, it's a false flag. Yeah.
Yeah, when they do something in the name of something happening, but it was orchestrated.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's being very deceptive to make us believe that that was out of retaliation when it was just Oppenheimer needed some place to use his new invention on a grand scale.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. That's right. Yeah, and history itself is against you, man. But Matthew 24, right?
Yep. Verse 2. And Yahweh said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down.
Uh-huh. Go on.
All right. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be?
Mm-hmm.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
So, and go on.
All right. And of the end of the world.
So the disciples came to the Messiah and said, when shall these, you said the not one stone that's not going to be thrown down. So when is this going to happen? And when is going to be the sign of thy coming, of your return? Go on.
And verse 4 says, and Yahweh answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
Mm-hmm.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall be deceived, and shall deceive many.
Yeah, and you have that today. You have a lot of people that and it doesn't mean that they're gonna come and literally everybody's literally gonna say, oh, I'm the anointed. Oh, I'm the anointed. But they're gonna come in that spirit, as though, oh, the Most High is dealing with me. Because when you're the anointed, what does that mean? That means you're chosen by the Most High to do a particular task. So in essence, a lot of people come in that spirit as though, oh, God sent me a message to come and say this. God told me this. The Most High is over here. I do this. So you got to follow me in whatever I'm telling you. And they're really set up as stumbling blocks. So that's why the Lord was warning them and us to watch out for these guys. Go ahead.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Now, hearing of wars and rumors of wars, looking in this time, that's exactly what we see happening. Okay? That you have wars and the whole Russia-Ukraine situation. You have rumors of this war going nuclear, which those rumors are going to come true. All right. Now they said that Russia said that Britain, I believe, had a hand in the pipeline to sabotage. Okay. They're talking about NATO's talking about the possibility of going to war with Russia. North Korea is getting active over there. There's a possibility of U.S. going to war with China. Israel and Iran, Turkey flipping sides to Russia. Oh, now they said that U.S., France, and Germany are basically trying to push back against the U.S., saying that the policies that they're trying to set up is it's not going to benefit the rest of everybody. So they literally saying they're getting ready to push back against the U.S. All right. So we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars, which the Lord told us about. That's a sign to keep out for, right? So when you see these things in your mind, you remember, well, the Lord said, He mentioned these things. Go on. And it takes faith, man, because somebody could come and say, oh, well, yeah, there've been wars and rumors of wars going on since Yahweh Shai, even before he was on the earth. All right. So what? We believe that this is what it's talking about. Now what? Oh, well, that's not what it's talking about. How do you know that? Well, that's just not what it's talking about. Okay, so if you don't believe it, you don't have to. Romans 3 and 3. You're wasting your time trying to come up here and convince us to not believe what we believe. We're not coming there to convince. We're telling you what's right and what's wrong. But if you don't believe it, then all right. That's the end of that story. What's the what? You got to ask yourself, why are these people so threatened by us calling ourselves the real Jays? Why do you feel so threatened about that? Because you feel threatened to the point where if we say that if we say even that we're Jays, no, that's anti-S. Wait a minute, hold on. Can we sit down and act as scholars for a second? You're using these terminologies. You're saying that this is anti-S. We've broken down many. Anti means against, and S, Shem, whatever. You're a descendant of Shem. Shem did not just have the Jays. Okay. When you go back to Noah's 3 sons, matter of fact, you have your Zondervan in the Bible dictionary, right? Is there anything on Shem? I know we should go to Ham. Let's see if we can find something on Shem. Noah had 3 sons, right? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Are you telling me that first off, even if you go into the scriptures, you'll find out that Shem had more than one son. And the Jays weren't even direct sons of Shem. They came generations after through Jacob, whose father was Isaac, whose father was Abraham, whose father was Terah, going all the way up to our Faxad, and then going all the way up. So are not the other descendants of our Faxad also Shemites? And the word it's not Sem, it's Shem. Okay, you're Shemitic. So you have anybody, first off, anybody that's a Hebrew that goes back to Ibar is a Shemite. So guess what? The East Indians, they're Shemites. They're Hebrew Elamites. You have Hebrew Edomites. You have Hebrew Israelites. You have Hebrew Ishmaelites. The so-called Arabs are also Shemites. So how can you say that, oh, well, you're anti-S, you're anti-Shem, but you're from Shem? How does that make sense? That's what this guy said. Kanye said, whoa, this guy's, you got to get him off that platform, man. You can't say that, man. You can't. What do you mean I can't? Is that not what the word is? If you tell me I'm anti something, but I'm a Shemite myself, there's proof on that.
That's like saying you wicked niggas need to get yourself together or y'all gonna be exposed. That makes you anti-nigga or anti-African American. Like, yo, we always talk about ourselves, especially with the crime in New York City. Like, yo, how you gonna say Black Lives Matter and y'all out here killing each other? Y'all a bunch of dummies.
Right.
It don't make sense.
Nope.
But that don't make me anti against my people. That's just a whole smear campaign, and it seems to be working because now he's like trying to change his directory, and once the money starts losing, then you know. But he said something. He said if the Lord is humbling me, if I gotta lose my wealth in the name of trying to bring something that nobody else can bring in the industry, then so be it. He ready to die and everything. So,
Well, let's see how ready he is. They got something?
No, I was going to mention Elder Malcolm from the Chicago camp made an excellent point. Now, they sit there and say everything is, I'm going to say anti-Sem, but they don't believe in like the New Testament. But yet Sem, S-E-M, is in the New Testament. So why are you calling yourself that if you don't have any connection to the New Testament? You only believe in the Old Testament, not the New Testament, because they don't believe in the Messiah. So why are you using anti-Sem? Because Sem is in the New Testament, not the Old.
Go on.
This is Shem. which is not Sem, it's Shem, which in the Hebrew is Shem.
It's his name.
Even so, here it says name or fame, second son of Noah and progenitor of the Semitic race.
Wow, is that right? Go ahead.
Was born 98 years before the flood, Genesis 11, chapter 11, verse 10, and lived 600 years, outliving his descendants for 9 generations, excepting Eber and Abraham.
Uh, is his descendants for 9 generations, excepting Eber and Abraham. So wait a minute. Abraham is from Shem, but Abraham didn't have just one son. So what happened to the other sons? Because Shemites are anybody that comes from Shem, not anybody that comes from Jacob, but anybody that comes from Shem. So you can't just say that, oh, just because I come, first off, you don't even come from Jacob. That's number one. If you want to get to that point. All right. But we're just going with the fact that, okay, all right, let's say you say that that's what you are. Okay. But even in that case, if a Elamite is a Shemite. So if you say we're anti-Shem, that means that we gotta hate Elamites, we gotta hate Ishmaelites, we gotta be against anybody that comes from Shem. That means we gotta be against ourselves as well. So that's number one. Number two, they put out terms like, oh, these Islamophobia, homophobia, xenophobia, all of these other terms. First off, a phobia is a fear of something. That's the term that they throw out. Well, if you are against something, you're afraid of it. You know, you guys are, well, you guys are Israelphobias. you guys have a fear of us. Okay? And we don't fear these things. We come out and tell you, look, according to the scriptures, this is the right thing, this is the truth, and then this is not. That's the end of this. What's so bad about that? But people gotta think, man. You gotta think, yeah, you don't know what, why are they so bothered by that? The Bible's been out for years. You never had a problem until now. Let's go. Oh, the bar. Let's go to that.
All right. Got done with the Shem. All right.
And then the scriptures talk about not giving the appearance of evil. So even on our part, we got to make sure that we speak according to the words of the scriptures. You know, not according to our own will, because those are things that they're gonna be looking for. You heard him what he said? He said, when we get our hands on you, we're going. You gotta go back to this, because now if we say something that's scriptural, when they come to us, we can go back to the scriptures. But if you just throwing things out of your own, whatever you want to say, and you can't back it up with the scriptures, then that's on you. And in turn, that falls on everybody. Because remember, they paint with a broad brush. Go ahead.
Continuing with verse 6 of Matthew 24. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right. So wars and rumors of wars, we weren't supposed to be troubled by that. The whole thing with Russia and Ukraine, we weren't supposed to lose our minds and start bugging. Oh my God, Russia and Ukraine, because the Lord said, "Be not troubled." But all these things must come to pass. Those wars have to happen. The rumors have to come. And though as real and scary as they may seem, but don't be troubled, for the end is not yet. Because there's still things that need to take place before that time. Go ahead.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
Which we're seeing all around the world, on a geopolitical level and on an internal level. Right now, there's a house divided. Go ahead.
And there shall be famine and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places.
And that's happening. You're talking about us. You should be worried about the global recession they're talking about. You should be worried about the global famine that's coming. You should be worried about Russia getting ready to blow your ass to smithereens. Iran with their nuclear enrichment program, they already passed. You said they couldn't get past 3%. I think they passed 90 sign, if not 100. All right. But this is one of their biggest concerns, because this is what they spent, if not most of their money on, to keep concealed. Why? Because it's almost like you go and you try to steal a lion cub, and the lion is asleep, and the lion cub starts to. The one thing that you got to make sure is that the lion cub does not cry, because when the lion cub starts crying, its mother's gonna wake up, and when its mother wakes up, buddy, you're dead. You got it.
Actually, mentioned that happened in Jurassic. It was the second one, Jurassic Park. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. They took this baby Tyrannosaurus to save it because it was like injured, And like when it started crying, eventually the parents heard the crying, and they came and saw came up to the people who's trying to save the dinosaur, or whatever. And like they eventually just like knocked off the trailer. They lived, but like the dinosaurs tried to mess them up and ate one dude or whatever. But just to add to your point, basically like when the baby T-Rex started crying, the T-Rex's mom and daddy pulled up and like, yo, give us our kid.
Yeah, what you doing? And that's the same thing. See, because once we wake up, what we gonna do? We're gonna cry unto our Father. We're gonna cry unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, which is what we're doing with that need. That's it. See, if you can find it, you can bring it up. We're gonna do that, and guess what? That is because now they're like, what they're doing right now is trying to shush that cup, and that's the worst part. Because now the parents done already, the mom's eyes already open. She watching your ass from behind, and here it is. You trying to put your hand on the cup's mouth, and the cup is crying even louder. Now the mom is looking at you like, oh, you definitely trying to hurt my kid. Buddy, you're gonna turn around and there's gonna be a whole pack of lions there waiting for your ass. And that's the same thing. That's what the Most High is going to do. We're waiting for the Most High to rise up against the evildoers. And that's what he's about to do. He's about to take this place out. Isaiah 59:19. When they shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard against them. And wait, you call us all these names. Just hope the Lord doesn't give us spiritual power. Because when the Lord says, all right, it's go time, well then.
Like the brother is looking up right now, the men that cry aloud, they're not. He also mentioned cry again. He said, go to the men that cry inside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he knows that we making that cry. He hear us, you know what I'm saying? But it's an appointed time.
Exactly. Exactly. That's it. Beautifully said. You got that? Take your time. All right.
All right. Read a new one. It says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to
So
be
all these
afflicted.
are the beginning of sorrows, right? Then shall they shall deliver you up to be afflicted, which this happened back then, but it's also happening now. Okay, go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted,
Uh-huh.
and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Which once again, it happened then, but now it's like the Lord said, we're gonna be hated of all nations because now they can broadcast something on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, and they can go worldwide because people have access to it just like that. They can go worldwide live. The second they start speaking about it, people in different parts of the world can be seeing and receiving that information. Like, oh wow, these guys are like like your mom was saying, oh, that guy's a jackass. If she said that about him, what do you think she's going to say about us? We just the worst people. But can't you ask yourself why are these people so bad? Wait, did you know what the problem with people is they get so emotional they forget about truth. What you should do is say, okay, he said this, right? You're saying that it's anti-Shem, but was what he was saying true or not? Because you can't fight against the truth. Okay, it's anti-Shem to say that all these people that own these big corporations are they're jades. Let's go see if that's true or not. So it's anti-Shem to speak the truth, is what you're saying. What you're saying is we can't speak the truth.
But it's true because like even most of these like nursing homes, they're owned by them.
Yep. Mount Sinai.
I work in many of them where they're owned by them.
Yep.
So it's like they own a lot of stuff. Even I seen a video, Charlemagne the guy was exposing like, yeah, a lot of the music industry, the media is owned by them.
Yep.
So how is it you're saying that look, they own it? It's true, their names are there, and it's anti-Sem to say that.
How? Say that, brother. That's all right. Yep. So once again, the truth, that's why they put good for light and evil, evil for good, light for darkness. You speak truth? No, that's anti. Wait a minute. So we can't speak truth is what you're saying. People should do their due diligence and go and verify. Wait, this person said this. Let me sit before I open my mouth and say anything. Let me go and see, is this true or not? Where did he get this information from? Who is this person? But people don't do that. They're ignorant. It's easier to do the he say, she said. oh, I heard that this was the case, so I'm running with it too. Yeah, I never liked them niggas.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say one thing. Charlamagne the God said something that I always remember. Most I remember. If I can say it correctly, he said, "No one's gonna believe the truth when the lie is not entertaining."
That's it. That's it. Oh, and there's another saying that if you tell a big enough lie enough times, people start to believe it to be true. And that's what they did. But guess what? Regardless of whether people believe it to be true or not, does not make it the truth. It just means people believe it's the truth, but that doesn't make it the truth. And you can never hide. You can try to suppress it. But you can't destroy the truth. See, that's how powerful the truth is. Like Zerubbabel said in First Ezra, the third chapter. The truth is, he said, women are the most powerful, but above women is the truth. How do you destroy the truth? You don't. If you really think about the concept of what truth is, it can never really be destroyed. You can try to lie, you can try to cover it up, but at some point, somebody is going to figure it out by asking questions. Wait, so you said this, but what about this? I was thinking about it, but then I was reading something here and they said this. That's why they say what? Uncover. They start to uncover the truth, right? Which is what? Revelation. Because when you uncover the truth, you're pulling back the veil. Which was covering the truth. Yep, exactly. And that goes to Job 9:24. Because his job he was set up. No, he was set up to cover, to spread that covering cast over the people. And what was the covering? Lies. All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say the American public is so damn stupid that they're like a squirrel where you just snap your finger right here and and then they snap it right here.
Yep.
And then it's that witchcraft that they have. And Chris Cuomo up there on CNN saying, no, this is all a conspiracy. There's no conspiracy of, but literally just Google it and it's right there in front of your face. But he's telling you that something that clearly is not.
That's it.
That's the definition of witchcraft, deception. So of course, if they own the media company, can you trust that same media company to tell you that they don't own it?
Right.
No. So the heat is on. Come on. But these people are so damn stupid. That's like the same thing with conspiracy theory. Anybody says it's a conspiracy theory, oh, that's bullshit. That's the internet. That's a meme, whatever. You know, but that's how they can get it off. But in other countries, it doesn't really get off that easy because Americans are really the dumbest on the planet. You know.
Just to add a quick point, just what the brother just said. Even in that movie, they do that in movies with that movie, Don't Look Up with Leonardo DiCaprio. There was like this. You can literally see the freaking meteor coming with the light. No, I'm just, illustrating. And yet, they're like, oh, don't look up. There's no meteor coming. And it's like, yo, if you look up, you can see the light and the meteor is coming to hit the planet. It's like, nah, those guys are liars. Those guys. It's like, yo, look up.
That's it. Yeah. And that's what we're telling them. Look it up. You know? But look, if you don't believe us, if you don't believe us, just lift your head up and look for yourself. Not for us, for yourself.
Right.
No, I do it. So why don't you want to look up? Because it's not true. Okay, well then prove it. Prove it's not true. Look up. But that's these people. Oh, what? That's anti. No, that's anti. Yeah. Okay. Can you verify that it's anti? No, I don't need to. It's anti. How do you know that? Because it's anti. Then we ain't never gonna give you a reason. Ask the same writers of the article. Okay, so you said that this is anti, but we looked it up. And matter of fact, the owner, the founder, and the chief editor of Rolling Stones are Jades. So how is what was written in there anti? The fact that you even question that is anti. And you know they have this thing which is the straw man argument, where basically instead of like there's a certain tactic that people use when they come under heat. When they can't answer a certain question, they flip it to where now they start to attack you. They start to shift the focus off of the question and off of them and shift it to you. And one thing that they do so subtly, and you see it on the news often because they're in cahoots. When a news caster asks a question, they never answer the question directly. It could be a yes or no question, but what they'll do is they'll rephrase the question and then answer it to their likeness. So were you involved in I don't know, the slave trade? Well, if you were asking if back in whatever, there were ish people who had, transported, they went to Africa and picked up slaves and brought them here and did this, then no, that's not in any means of what happened. No, that's not what he said. He said, were you involved? What you said was, did they physically go and grab them themselves and come over here? So what he has done is he has rephrased the question so subtly that you don't correct him on it. And that way he can comfortably tell you no, because technically it's no, right? You may say, well, I don't know of any J person who actually went to Africa and grabbed up a slave and put him on a slave ship. So no, that we didn't do that. But that's not the question that we asked you. Why don't the news anchors ever say, can you just give me a yes or a no? Oh, you know who did that? One of the guys, I forgot if it was the UN or if it was one of the parliament meetings in the EU or something. He questioned the Pfizer, one of the Pfizer board executives. And he said, look, just give me a yes or no answer. Give me a straight answer. No, just tell me straight up. Did you guys test and validate that this thing will prevent yada yada? He said no. That's it. And what he did is what they all do. When you ask your questions, be specific. Don't give them the ability to tap dance, and then they take the heat off, and then well, I mean, are you insinuating that we did have a hand in this? Because that would be anti-yes, right? And now here it is, you asking the question, but you on the hot seat.
Victim blaming.
Exactly.
We all the victims of a treacherous society and how things is going in this world. But they'll make you feel like it's your fault for even posing the question.
Yeah.
Like you're unpatriotic.
Yep.
Like for you to even come up with that thought is like you're questioning our integrity, but y'all have no integrity.
Right.
Because the atrocities that was committed on the birth of this place that y'all call America, or even the birth of Babylon was treacherous. You know? So however y'all see all the way down to the beginning of time. Okay? So however y'all see fit, y'all has y'all hand in some type of, bloodshed, and y'all want to point the finger at the people who pointed out. Like, nah, you need to be banned. You need to get your license restricted because what you're saying is in the grounds of treason.
This one for precept. This is Acts chapter 17, verse 10. And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night unto Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so. So the reason why I brought that out is just so when we sit there and say things, don't just sit there and take it what we say, look it up yourself and see if those things be true.
That's right. That's right. You going?
All right. Verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another.
Now you notice he said and then, right? So when they deliver us up to be afflicted, then many are going to be offended and going to betray one another and shall, afflict one another and all of that, because they're going to be, like I said, they're going to be offended. They're going to turn their backs. Look, people turn their backs on Yahushua on the scene. But on Yahushua on the scene because of something he said that was spiritual that they didn't understand. This is my blood, this is my body. Oh, whoa, this guy's a cannibal. So you, for all these years that you were following him, for him to say one thing, first off, if he came as the son of the Messiah, why would he tell you to physically eat his body and drink his blood? That's going on. But once again, it was meant for those people to turn their back on the Lord at that time. And the scripture said that the servant is not greater than the master. So if it happened to him, people are going to do it to us in this time. Go ahead.
And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
Yep, and that's what's going on. Now, pause there real quick. Let's go to what else do we have? Yeah, second test. Actually, let's find in Acts where Peter got arrested. Yeah, I believe it was Acts 12. And there's also another account of Paul and Silas when they when they is that Acts 18, 19, maybe somewhere around there. Well, Paul and Silas basically they got thrown into prison, and then the Lord had an earthquake happen that shook up the prison, and the prison guard was gonna kill himself, but then they told him, nope, don't do it. I think that's 16. Yeah, 16? Okay. Oh, yeah. Peter in jail. I think that's 12, right? Okay. Just start at the top. Because once again, these things happen in Romans 15 and 4. Whatsoever things were written aforetime, meaning in the past, were written for our learning, right? That we through patience and hope might have comfort in the scriptures. So we read these things to have comfort, that our forefathers did these things and they were delivered. So if we put our trust in the Lord and we continue to do the work of the Lord, we're also going to be delivered. Go on.
Acts chapter 12, verse 1. Now about that time, Herod, the king, stretched forth his hand to vex certain of the church. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Jews, he proceeded further to take Peter also. Then were the days of unleavened bread,
which is the Passover.
And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him.
So he was pretty much in heavy confinement, all right? Heavy lockdown. Make sure that he's a high-level prisoner. You make sure he doesn't escape. You understand that? Go ahead.
Continuing with verse 4, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people.
Now, that word Easter, like the elder apostle Ramlock said this, he said, wait a minute. You got groups that get mad because we look into certain words and we tell them, no, you got to go back to the Hebrew, you got to go back to the Greek. But when you come across the word Easter, why don't you just take it as face value? Why don't you say, oh, it says Easter, so we should celebrate Easter, because that's what they were celebrating. How do you know that that's the Passover? You had to look into the Greek, right? You had to see that word Pascal, which goes back to the past. Oh, wow, that was really going on there. But yet, for some reason in English, it says Easter. So should we just trust anything that we see in the English? No, you got to verify. That's a part of giving your due diligence and studying. So after Easter, meaning that after the Passover. Go on.
Verse 5. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church of the Heavenly Father unto him for him.
You hear that? Prayer. So they didn't get up and, everybody go sell your garment and get 2 swords. We're gonna break the apostle Peter out of prison. Surround the prison, and then when I give the 6, that's not what they did. What did? They prayed. It says prayer without ceasing was made for him. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers.
So the same night, see how the Lord does things? Now that the apostle Peter was he in there losing faith? Oh, well, I know for sure that the Lord is going to get me out of here the first night. Because the last time we were in prison, he got us out. Angel told us we got to go back out, go into the temple and go teach. So I know I'm going to be out of here the first night. And then he's there day 1, day 2, and he's still there. But it says what? The night, that same night of, what did the Lord do?
And when Herod would have brought him forth, the same night Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers.
Between 2 soldiers. So they made sure, buddy, you're not going anywhere, right? That's it. Right, I'm right here, and he's right there. You ain't going nowhere. You sleep right there, right? Go ahead.
Bound with 2 chains.
So not only was he between the two soldiers, but he was bound with chains. Go ahead.
And the keepers before the door kept the prison.
So then now he was in a cell with 2 prison guards bound with chains, and then you had prison guards outside keeping the door, making sure there ain't nobody going in and out. How is the Lord going to get the apostle Peter out of this one? Go on.
Acts chapter 12, verse 7. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying.
So now you got to ask yourself, right? How did this light shine, and yet none of the prisoners woke up? The prison guards woke up. There's a light that shined in the prison, and yet the prison guard didn't wake up. He was bound with chains, right? So you got to feel the chains moving. If he smoked Peter and woke him up, if we shackled up, if you right here and I'm right here, if I make movement, especially if I'm a prison guard, That means that even if I fall asleep, my senses are on high alert. If you move, yo, what you doing? No, I'm just
It
scratching my
wasn't no
back.
long chains. It was like probably short chains. So
Exactly.
blood
Sudden
movements.
movements. And chains make noise. You know, you try to scratch your back. Oh, yeah, I'm just scratching myself. Relax. All right, well, do it quietly. You know, but go ahead.
Uh, it says, and raising him up, saying, "Arise up quickly," and his chains fell off from his hand.
See that? So, and it goes to show you, them angels, they're not, the angel didn't wake you, but you know what I'm saying? Just try to tap him on the back. Gotta go. No. It said he smote him. All right, man, wake your ass up. We gotta go. You know, you try to stay in this prison. I got a job because remember, it says that the angels tremble in the presence of the Lord. So the second that angel, no matter how mighty they are when they come down, hell yeah. When the second he got commandment, you go break him up with me.
But Habakkuk said, I never seen Babylon, nor do I know where Daniel's
You
at.
try to hear that.
So let's come here
That's
and
it.
toss him over there.
I'll show you where it's at. Because the angels know that if you return back to the Lord without having your job done the way He wants it done, you're done. You know, and the angels are perfect, but He charges them with folly. That's crazy. So that angel, you knew he came there. He's like, look, I know how humans are. I'm not here to deal with the extra shit. Get your ass up. We gotta go, right? So he woke him up. He said, we gotta go, and then the chains fell off. How did that happen? You know. Now, do you think that with how high level Peter was, that they were gonna put some light what are the plastic shits that they just put on your hand when they ain't gonna do that. They them wire ties. They ain't gonna do that. They had some real heavy them shackle joints. All right. What?
Verse 12, Acts chapter 12, verse 8. And the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals.
So put your clothes on, you know.
And so he did, and he said unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me.
Them guards had to be in a trance because for him to put his sandals on, his shackles are off. You know, he's putting his robe and everything on, and he's getting ready to go. And then the angel said, "What? Follow me." But wait, there's guards guarding the door, right? Go on.
Verse 9, and he went out and followed him,
Uh-huh.
and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel.
Because, you know, there's certain situations that you're in, but they feel unreal. They feel like surreal, that it's actually happening. You're in it, you're moving, you're doing what you're doing, but it hasn't fully hit you what's actually happening. Right? You're seeing an angel, you're following him, okay, all right, cool. But in your mind, you still ain't fully processed what exactly is happening here, right? So that's why it says he wished that it wasn't true. Go ahead. So, you know, like people say, oh, I must be dreaming. Go on.
Continue, and said, but he thought he saw a vision.
Right.
Verse 10, when they were past the first and second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leadeth unto the city, which opened to them of his own accord.
Yeah, imagine that. Get to the gate, and because you know certain gates are locked. You know, you like it's big ass, it's an iron gate. How the hell am I gonna open this joint? And the gate just opens up. Like for those that have seen the movie Night at the Museum, you had whenever the sun went down, you had the inanimate objects that came to life. You had Dum Dum, that statue, that started talking and shit. You know, so hey, the Lord might have it that way. You may be walking somewhere, and it, like one of them lion statues, you going somewhere and you hear, psst, psst, hey, stop, don't go that way. You're looking over. Come back. Make a left. Stand right here. Stand right there. And you hear the lion, and it's like the lion head just comes out and starts talking to you. Looking up at the shit. Whatever. You do it, and then it just goes back to being the statue. You know? And then after that, you see the truth. Okay, he's not here. All right, then they go. The Lord, you see, these are things that's why the Lord said, don't worry. Let the evil of tomorrow deal with itself. Just follow me. I'm gonna take care of everything else. You don't got to know what's coming next. I got it. Go ahead.
Continuing verse 10, and they went out and passed on through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him.
See, so the angel's job was go into that prison, and so the angel just manifested. He just manifested over there. In that prison right there, I mean, who knows? Maybe his chariot was up on top of the prison. He just beamed himself down or whatever. But his job was get into the prison and free Peter, and don't just leave him there. Take him to the city. So as it says, the doors open. He was in there. Once he entered there, the angels, that's it. He's gone. His job is done. See, the angels come. That's why they're called angels, messengers. They're here to either deliver a message, tell you something, or do something. So, like the angel that came to Manoah, once he came and delivered the message, that was it. Oh, what's your name? He said, what are you worried about my name for? That doesn't matter. And then he got in the fire and dipped because his job was done. So they do exactly what the Lord tells them to do, no matter what. So if the Lord says, protect these people and keep guard over them and make sure no harm comes to them, guess what? No harm is going to come to you.
It'll be a hail of bullets.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so just like in the movie The Matrix, when the bullets came and Neo just, boom, and then all of them. Now imagine seeing something like that. It's gonna be crazy, man. But we had Acts 16?
You done with that?
Yeah, I think that was pretty much the point.
Acts 16 and 19. And when her masters saw the hope of their gains was gone.
Matter of fact, go start up a couple of verses before the Apostle Paul rebuked the spirit off of them.
Okay. All right, it says, I'm going to start up by like 13.
All right.
Acts 16 and 13. And on the Sabbath, we went out of the city by a riverside, where prayer was wont to be made. And we sat down and spake unto the women which resorted thither. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira.
Which that purple, when you go into it, actually that's blue letter, right?
I could get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then let's look into that word purple. It might be the Tyrian purple, which is in some cases it could be like a garment or a cloth or whatever. Maybe it might be the actual dye. But that purple is very expensive.
Oh yeah. They had to kill snails like a lot of snails to get it.
Yep.
It says here, it says the word for purple. A seller of purple. It says here, poor fry, hopeless. Let me see what it says.
Oh, hopeless?
Foxwodopolis, and it says a female seller of purple or of fabric dyed in purple.
Fabric dyed in purple, exactly. So what she was doing was she was selling. First off, they call it a Tyrian purple because, like you were saying, there were these certain like snail-looking kind of creatures, shelled creatures, where when you smash them, they would excrete this purple dye, and it would be in such tiny increments that you would need to smash a whole lot of them just to get a little bit of that dye, and then they would use that to make the garments and all of that. Like you have the scripted dyed garments from Basra, right? So they would dye the garments or the cloaks or whatever the case is, but it would be very expensive, right? So whenever you hear somebody, that's why royalty is associated with purple. Purple is associated with royalty because they're the ones who could afford such expensive whatever. So that's what she was selling. All right.
They gave Daniel, if I'm not mistaken, he got a purple cloak.
They call it scarlet, but it's really that reddish purple. It's the same one.
Right.
That's why Belshazzar said that, right? Because you say, well, what's the significance of a purple cloak? Anybody can get a purple cloak, or it says he shall be clothed in scarlet and a chain about his neck.
That's a picture, I think. This is right.
Yep. That's about right. Right there. All right. Keep going.
Acts 16 and 15. Yep. And when she was baptized, I'll read 14 again. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple of the city of Thyatira, which worshipped the Most High, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened.
So, whoa, whose heart the Lord opened. Now we know the word heart goes to the Hebrew word lav, which means your mind. So what did the Lord do? He opened up her mind to do what? To be able to receive this word. Okay. So the Most High has to, when we say that, the Most High has to open up your eyes. It's literal. This isn't something that, okay, well, we just tell you, we can make you believe. No. It ain't up to us. The Most High has to open up your mind for you to understand this.
that she attended unto the things which were spoken of Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was baptized and her household, she besought us, saying, if ye have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained us.
Mm-hmm. So she served them by force. Go ahead. Because she had that zeal.
In the NLT, it says she urged us until we agreed.
Yep. So she wasn't trying to take no for an answer, you know, because she had, once again, she had that zeal.
That's right. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel possessed with a spirit of divination met us.
So you had a young woman that had a demon on her. Okay, the spirit of divination, she had a demon on her where she could divine, she could foretell certain things using that demon. Go ahead.
Which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying.
Yeah, that's what these the whole concept of the crystal ball, the witch with the crystal ball, which I'll show you your future and shit like that. They got a demon that's actually working with her. Like if you look up a familiar spirit, the short term is a familiar, right? When you watch like certain vampire shows or wizardry shows, they use that term, a familiar. A familiar is an actual demon that is like an accomplice or like a helper for a spirit. They can be a medium, they can be a doppelganger, they can be an animal spirit, whatever they call that. These are actual demons that people deal with, and they help them with, you know, whatever it is that they're trying to do. So if it's to rub a freaking crystal ball and tell you some lie, oh, put your hand on the ball, close your eyes, I'm gonna tell you something. They're using demons to do that. Okay, so she had a demon that allowed her to divine. Go ahead.
The same followed Paul and us.
So, but why did she do that? Because the demon in her recognized them. The same way the demon that attacked the 7 sons of Sceva said, Paul we know and Yahushua we know, but who the hell are you? So the demons knew. All the demons that met Yahushua knew. And they were on the verge of exposing him, and he had to shut him up. Right? So the demons know us.
If I may, eating at Manners like maybe a month and change ago,
Mm-hmm.
and demon came into, and she started pointing at
Oh,
you.
yeah,
She was like, you ain't even paying attention. Why it was spiritual, because they know, like, brothers that are in the spirit.
Yeah. You know? She came up there talking about she wants to change. You gonna give me my change? I'm like, she a woman on man. This shit, yeah. I just heard a deep ass voice. I'm like, what happened to this thing?
Bro, her feet was like hippos.
Yeah. Because first she went from asking, oh, please, anybody got some change? Yeah. Then she gonna look at me, nah, you gonna give me my change. I was like,
I had an eye on that too. I'm like, this better act right. Something happens.
A lot of us here.
A lot.
yeah. I totally forgot about that part, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yep. It says, Acts 16 and 17, the same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God.
Oh. Now, you know it had to be spiritual because it was that spirit that was within her. She had a spirit of divination. So she was, and guess what? The same demons that these elites use, guess what? Those demons tell them. That is why their focus is over here. That is why they're like, demonize them. They're whatever you can. Look, if you want any chance of this, those are the prophets. They're not lying. Okay? That's what them demons tell them. Yeah, I mean, they are the actual prophets. So, well, buddy, I don't know. You figure something out. And that's why they keep coming with different angles. So we call them T's. So we call them black identity extremists. What can we really get them? Oh, you know what? Maybe the anti-Semitic. That one has been known to shut down anybody that came against it. Let's use that against them. You know? So they know. The same way that woman, the damsel knew. And she followed them, saying that these are the men of the Most High. These are the men of God. So the question is, well, if we're not the prophets, where are the prophets at? Right? What, did they just stop after 2,000 years ago? That's it? The Lord said, those of you, there be some of you standing here which shall not taste of death till you see the Son of Man coming. The Son of Man coming, that was after he left. He was going to come back again. He hasn't come back, but where are those disciples? The Lord is not a man that he should lie, so what do he mean? They died back then, but where are they?
Esau has doctrines like preterism, I think it's called.
Mm-hmm.
where basically they say every prophecy has been fulfilled, and that's another left-hand enchantment and say, oh, there should be no prophecy.
Wow, look at that.
See, well, Esau always got his little angle to try, but everything is about to, it's failing him now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Well, if every prophecy was fulfilled, America wouldn't be here. You know, because America's destruction is a part of prophecy.
Well, then where's the kingdom of heaven?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the Messiah?
Oh, well, they all in there. The Messiah was an old J that he's barely alive right now. But if you go to the land.
Where's the streets paved with blood?
Oh, brother, that's metaphorical, brother. That's metaphorical, brother.
Where's the 12 gates?
No, there ain't no 12 gates, brother. That's all right. It's okay. We got 3, but we'll take it. We'll take that. Wait, well, where the rest of the tribes? Don't worry about the rest of the tribes. Just worry about the J's. That's what they do. But that's a good question, right? Where the rest of the tribes at?
This world's supposed to be rid of war.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be no war.
But we're on the verge of a third world war. So what's going on there, buddy?
That's why they so damn proud. They could just come and say, well, we don't even believe in the scriptures. We're the people, believe it.
Yep.
Because we said so. All right, well, we believe in the scriptures, and we're going to hold on to this Lord's will. And this is going to come against what you believe in, and we'll see who's justified in that. I already know what's going to happen.
That's it, because victory cometh from the Lord.
That's right. Reading on Acts 16 and 17, it says, the same followed Paul and us and cried, saying, these men are the servants of the Most High God, which shew unto us the way of salvation.
Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. What? He said, which show unto us the way of salvation. So whatever the Apostle Paul and Silas were teaching, clearly that's the way of salvation. Well, we teach the same thing. So how come we oh, no, you guys are ignorance. Crazy, man. And they don't believe in that. Like you said, they don't believe in the New Testament. But the Old Testament talks about the Messiah coming in the New Testament.
Acts 16 and 18. And this did she many days.
Many days. There wasn't 1, it wasn't 2 or 3. How many licks did it take? Because guess what? She did this many days. The Spirit was on her. So you can imagine that. Every time, these are the men of God, these are the men of God leading. Oh my gosh. So eventually what happened?
If I may read it in the NLT.
Yep.
It says, this went on day after day until Paul got so exasperated that he turned and said to the demon within her, I command you in the name of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach to come out of her. And instantly it left her.
Look at that. So he didn't say it to her because it wasn't her. It was the demon that was within her. See, that's the same thing they try to do whenever Yahweh Shai heals somebody. The demon will, you're the son of God. You're the son. Oh, hey, shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Get the hell out of here. Oh, where we gonna go? There's Swan right there. You go in there. Right? So he got so fed up. Because remember, day after day after day after day, you just hearing this demon, these are the son of God. All right, we know that. You got it. Right? And so he got so fed up, he turned around and rebuked the demon out of her. Right? In the name of Yahweh Shai or Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, he cast a spirit that was out of her. And when you read it in the KJV, it tells you that it basically goes into the pronoun of the demon, and it mentions a he. See, going to show you that even demons that jump on women, they're masculine. Okay? Sodomite demons, they're masculine. They just jump on individuals to behave a certain kind of way. But you don't got female demons, or female angels up in the spirit world. Wait a minute. So is God sexist? Is he misogynist? Why don't we say that? Why doesn't the Most High have any female angels? Where they at? Where's the archangel? I don't know. Sophia. Where they at? They're not there. So what does that tell you about the Most High?
What was that show, Touched by an Angel, from the 90s? You know what I'm talking about, the boy?
Yeah, with Devil Reese and a couple of others.
Yeah. Where they had
The black, she was the main one.
Yeah, female angels, but that's a nonsense.
Oh, Lord. Lord said a female angel to come do what the angel did to Peter, everybody would be caught.
We don't.
Angel would be in shackles too.
Right.
Now you got to send a whole other angel to come break her out and then break him out. Oh, Lord, I was going to go in there. When I shine the light, the guard won't come. You an angel, he's supposed to take care of that. See?
Reading on Acts 16 and 19. And when her masters saw that the hope of their gains was gone, they caught Paul and Silas and drew them into the marketplace unto the rulers.
So they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were able to make gain through the spirit that was on the woman. But when the demon left, they said, "This nigga right here done took off our." Damn, he has some wicked men, man. You know, and that so they basically dragged their ass to the marketplace because they were mad. In essence, they felt like there was something was stolen from them. Because imagine how much money they were making. If you can, whatever it is that they were doing, the bets or whatever, if they can make all of this money, it was a gladiatorial fight. Oh, my money is on this guy, or my money is on that guy, whatever it is. They must have been making a lot of money because they were very angry. Now, you got to keep that in mind too, right? That's not something that comes easy. Where are you going to just go and find a young woman that has just the right demon on her that you can control and make this gain on? So they were pissed. They were hurt.
And it's like the same thing happening now too, because in the spirit we're doing the same thing. Basically,
Right.
taking demons off of Jake through spirit and poverty. How about Shemal Shai? So now the elites, they're mad because they're like, oh, we were making money off of Jake.
Mm-hmm.
We were making a ton of money with the enchantments.
Yep. Yep.
They were coming up big.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're like, nah, we can't have that happen. So they want to come to the men that are responsible.
Yep.
It's really how about Shemal Shai is
Quick point, just like I think it's also in Acts, I think it's 19, when they were making merchandise off of Diana, the little
Yeah.
and it was like one of them was like, this is how we make our merchandise, how we make money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we gotta stop pulling them from sales because it's like they're gonna, take away our goddess Diana.
I think it was Alexander the coppersmith, if I'm not mistaken. One of them. Yeah, exactly. But he stirred up the people, and then there's so much so that the town clerk or whatever his name was had to come and basically quiet them down, or else the Romans were gonna come in there. Because it was a big commotion, a huge commotion. Oh, this guy, he gonna do this, and they said they stirred up the people, like you were saying. You have people in there, they just here because they're here. Like you got the Black Lives Matter thing, right? You got people in there that are just no justice, no peace. And why are you here? I don't know, man. That was pretty. I don't know. Everybody's doing it, so I just thought I didn't have nothing better to do. I just be here.
When you read the 32nd verse, it says that. It says some people, if you read in the NLT, it says they don't even know why they did. They just did it.
Yep. And that's them, and they're gonna get caught up in that, right? And those that are anyone that is found shall be thrust through. Those that are joined onto them. So the Most High is gonna get you too. You got it.
Acts 16 and 20. The whole, and this is in the NLT, the whole city is in an uproar because of these Jews.
Woo! Wow. You look at that. And what are they saying today? Pretty much that's where they're going with it. Like they said about Yahushua, that he had filled Jerusalem with his doctrine. I believe it's about Yahushua or the disciples. But that's the same thing. Why did the Jews get expelled from Rome under Claudius? Because they were Judaizing. They were Judaizing the people, changing their mindset. So now, remember, we're a problem because now look at what you're doing. You're pushing out this. You guys are part of the extreme sects that are pushing out this hate, to where now you got people questioning the validity. And just wait till they start bringing out the little boys and bringing out the women crying, and it was so offensive. And how could you? This is just so hateful.
But that's what that chick, Jamie Lee Curtis, she playing the Halloween movies.
Oh yeah,
she was offended what Kanye said. She was like, because he said he's gonna go deaf on the.
Oh shit.
And she was like, go deaf, go on Jewish people. I'm like, if you know what it means, if I'm not mistaken, DEFCON is like deaf being shown the defense. I forgot what the con means.
Oh.
So it basically means that he's saying he's gonna go. I think he said gonna go DEFCON 3, which I think from 1 to 5, 5 being the least and 1 being the highest defense you're gonna take. So basically saying I'm gonna go on high defense, which level 3, against these people. Not meaning that I'm gonna attack them or do anything against them. I'm just gonna be on the defense.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
But like you're gonna go DEFCON on children.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's why they push them out, because they're good actors. Once they're cut, all right, cool, I'll give my money. That's what they do. Now, like you said, many of us would be stupid to try and actually go and physically. Okay, so we're saying that we're the descendants of the children of Israel, right? This is what we believe in. Okay, that's it. We're saying that the Most High is going to come back and he's going to do what he's going to do. That's what we believe. Okay, cool. Now, you'd be an idiot to get up and say, okay, well, because I believe this, now I'm going to go out and find people that I don't believe are the truth. First off, you got to go by the Spirit, because you might see somebody that looks like a Jay, and they might be an Israelite. Now what? But anyway, you would be an idiot to say, okay, well, now I'm gonna go find all of them, and because they're not the real J's, I'm gonna go do something to them. That's not what the scriptures say to do. So you'd be going off, and we would get on you as well. But hey, according to them, but that's according to them though. But that's according to the devil. Why are you concerned about what the devil is saying? The devil is a deceiver. Why are you so worried?
Acts 16 and 20. And brought them to the magistrate, saying, these men being Jews do exceedingly trouble our city.
They do exceedingly trouble our city. Even in the book of Maccabees, remember it got to the point where it says it basically was illegal for a man to profess himself to be a J.
Right. And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Romans. And the multitude rose up together against them, and the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them.
And that's what they wanted. They wanted the multitude to rise up. They wanted the masses of the people to get into a rage against these men. That's what they did with the Christians. They said, look, we can't just come and attack them. We have to turn the people against them. And then use the people as our army against them. That's what they're going to try to do. But once again, you can only do what the Most High set up to happen. You may plan something, but what the Most High said is what's going to happen. Herod planned to have Peter taken out after the Passover, but the Most High said no and had him delivered.
That's right. Acts 16 and 23. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safely.
So they whipped them. That's when they laid the stripes upon them. They whipped them, and then they kept them in the prison. Go ahead.
It says, who having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And made their feet fast in the stocks.
Now, the stocks, when you go into it, like when you see in certain scenes, right? There's like a plaque, like a piece of wood, and it has circles for your hands and circles for your head. And then you would see some people in there like that. That's like the stocks, but they also have some for your feet. Where it wasn't just to keep you confined, but it was actually painful because after a while, when you're sitting and your feet are just locked into the stocks over there, the blood is not really flowing through. You might want to get up, you might want to stretch. I think they did that to Jeremiah too. Okay, but it was something that they would do. They would put prisoners in and stuff to keep you restricted and all of that. But that's what they did, right? So they made sure you guys ain't going anywhere anytime soon. What?
And at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed.
See the power of prayer? How did Peter get out of prison? They prayed for him. And what did Paul and Silas do? They prayed.
And sang praises unto the Most High.
And sang praises unto the Most High. Wait a minute. You got whipped. Trust and believe. It says they took their clothes off and whipped them. You think that feels good? It's mad cool because, look, man, ain't no grown man that's trying to get whipped in public. That shit is not cool. But they got whipped, they got thrown into the inner prison, into the stocks, and they were praising the Most High. Go ahead.
And the prisoners heard them.
And the prisoners heard them. Go on.
And suddenly there was a great earthquake.
Oh.
So that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately all the doors were open.
Oh. So imagine that. You just see shit shaking, the metal bars start shaking, boom. And then all the doors just open. The same way when Peter was leaving, that gate open to him and the angel of its own accord. So the Lord commanded an inanimate object to do something. Go ahead.
That's a movie right there.
Yeah, that literally is.
It says, yep. And immediately all the doors were open and everyone's bands were loosed.
So not only did the doors open, but the Most High basically loosed them. You're free to go. So why are you so concerned? If they say, look, we're going to come and throw you in prison, can the Most High not deliver you from prison? Of course he can. They say we're going to give you the death penalty. Can the Most High not deliver you from that? Of course he can. So why are you worried? You did it in the past. Go on.
And the keeper of the prison, awaking out of his sleep and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself.
Because first off, he was not just going to get fired. All right, you let all these prisoners open. They escaped on your watch. So that's what he's thinking. It wasn't just Paul and Silas. It says all the prison doors open, and all of their band Imagine somebody in charge of a maximum penitentiary, or maybe Rikers Island, right? And he wakes up and the prison doors are open and all the prisoners escape, and they somehow made their way back into the city. And they call this guy and say, "Yo, the prisoners that you were supposed to keep watch over done escaped and they're in the city, and we don't know where to find any one of them." And these are some maximum dangerous prisoners, man. Dudes that eat baby hearts and shit. And you didn't, on your watch, they escaped. What you think is gonna happen to this man? So he was afraid. And in this time, they may do this and that and legally try to do this to you, but in that time, there was probably, there was some some major damage to him. So he was afraid.
I was gonna say, shout out to your point. There was a show, if you watch it, Prison Break.
Yeah.
And when those guys, I forgot I remember one guy. He was like the brainy guy, Michael Schofield. But basically, when all those, when they escaped prison, there was a prison guard who was like over them, like to watch them. And when they escaped, I think it was like the last episode of the season. He was about to shoot himself. He had a shotgun to his mouth. He was about to blow his head off. But something happened to it. I think they called him for something. But like because it was his job to make sure they escaped, he was like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna take my head off."
Yeah, because they let him know when they put him in charge. Listen, you better make sure. You better make sure that these prisoners stay in here. It's your job. It's their head or yours. Go ahead.
It says, and seeing the prison doors open, he drew out his sword and would have killed himself, supposing that the prisoners had been fled. But Paul cried with a loud voice, saying, "Do thyself no harm.
Don't
we
do
are
it.
all here."
Because we all here. Go on.
Then he called for a light and sprang in and came trembling and fell down before Paul and Silas and brought them out and said, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?"
So he believed. So the point, why did the Most High have all of this happen? Because the Most High didn't open the doors so that Paul and Silas could just escape. The point was to get that gate, that guard to believe, to get him to wake up, and to repent. So what did he say?
And they said, "Believe on the Lord, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, and thou shalt be saved and thy house."
There you go. All right, and that's the point right there. The point is to show you how easy it is for the Lord to deliver you from tribulation, for the Lord to deliver you from trouble. As a matter of fact, about to shot the mark. You got 1 Corinthians, I think it's 13 and 9. It talks about we don't own the rights to that. But anyway, it talks about with the temptation, he's gonna make a way for you to escape.
You said 1 Corinthians.
I think it's 13 and 13. 10 and 13. Okay, come on.
Yeah. 10 and 9.
10 and 13.
10 and 13.
Yep.
Got it. All right, this is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 13. There has no temptation taken you but so much as an in common,
But such as is common.
but such as is common to man.
Right. So when people sell out or turn their backs on the Lord, that's a temptation. Because they're tempted either with fear or they're tempted with money to turn their backs on the Lord. Right? So what the Lord is saying, there is no temptation that has taken you that is not common to man. So everything that you get tempted by, that you go through, it's normal. It's part of life. You're not the first one to go through, right? But keep in mind what?
But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
So whatever you're going to go through, remember that the Most High knows that you can go through it. That's why he gave you that task, or he put you in that situation. He's not going to put you in something that you can't overcome. So if in your mind you think, damn, this is too much for me to overcome, well, the Most High doesn't think it's too much for you to overcome. So now you got to align your thinking with his. You got to now lock into your mind and say, so, I mean, I guess it's possible for me to make it out of this, right? Because I wouldn't be here if not. Most High's not a liar. Go ahead.
But will, with the temptation, also make a way to escape.
So in whatever situation you find yourself in, know that there's an escape, that the Most High will make an escape for you. So they come at you, they whatever means that they use to demonize or come against you or whatever it is that comes your way, remember that the Most High brought it and he also has an escape. All right, if you stay faithful to the Lord. Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter, it talks about that. It talks about when you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation and cleave unto the Lord, that thou mayest be increased at thy latter end. Make not haste in time of trouble. These are all scriptures to call to mind and remember. Isaiah 33:6. Regardless of what we may look like, it's about what's up here. It's about what's in your spirit. Because we've got that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that'll keep us stable. Whether we're in a prison cell or we're out here, whatever idea people have of us is, we have what's going to keep us stable. We have the truth. You don't. Okay. The reason they're demonizing us is because we have the truth. That was it on that. That's not okay.
Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord. But in temptation, even again will he deliver him. Oh, so yeah, just straight to the point. So long as you fear the Lord, there shall no evil happen unto you. The Lord, I believe there's another person. The Lord know how to deliver the righteous out of temptation. Roughly paraphrasing.
Yep. So yeah, let's close it out with this. Galatians 6 and 7 on to 10. Yep. Because ultimately that's what it's about. All right. The show got to come to a close at some point, and it doesn't matter how hard it gets. We in it to win it. All right. We're not in it just for the ride. We in it to win it. So you got to risk it for the biscuit, as they say.
Right.
All right. Put it all on the line. Go on. 6 and 7. Yep.
Galatians chapter 6, verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
And it's going to go into the types of things that you sow and what you're going to reap of it.
Verse 8. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption.
So what's an example of sowing to the flesh? Well, Yahushua said, if any man shall save his life, the same shall lose it. Right? And if you lose your life for the Lord's sake, you're going to get it back. So those that put their lives before the will of the Lord, those that put the fear of their flesh or the desires that they have before the will of the Lord, guess what? You're going to reap corruption and you're going to lose it. There's only one way to escape the second death, and that's through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So whatever the Lord brings upon you, you want to escape that death, you need to take whatever the Lord has brought upon you, you need to go through it. Right?
Continuing verse 8. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting.
And that's what we're doing. And so that means taking whatever it comes with, which because you're sowing to the Spirit, knowing in your mind what the reward is that the Lord has for them that love Him. Second Ezra, the second chapter, the 40th verse on down. Revelation, the 18th chapter. That's all coming. Revelation, the 21st chapter. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing.
Let us not be weary in well doing. All right. Let us not be weary in well doing. Why? And what is well doing? Yeah, it is, because it stopped right there. Then you took a seat right there. So the dog is trying to hear the word. What?
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
In due season we shall reap if we faint not. So what is the well doing? Teaching the truth. Teaching the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Right.
Okay? And be not weary. So don't, I'm tired. Oh, I've done this for this many years, so I don't got to do it anymore. No, you keep doing it until the Lord says stop. And that better be upon his return or upon your death. Right? Go ahead. Read that part again.
Verse 9. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And let us not be weary in well doing. For in due season
Go ahead.
For in due season we shall reap if we faint not.
And what are we going to reap? The benefits. That's the immortality. That's the new bodies. That's even starting in Jacob's trouble. Isaiah 59 and 19. That's the protection from the pestilence. That's the protection from the sword. That's you and your house being covered. Okay? That's you being fed during the famines when people are actually starving to death. When there's violence out here in these streets. When the missiles start flying. That is what you're going to reap for serving the Lord now. For taking whatever comes to you now, in that time, you're going to be more than glad. When everybody's life is hanging in doubt before them, but the Lord blesses you with spiritual power, the Lord has angels protecting you and those that are around you, okay, that is going to be desired by everybody, where you're exempted from the judgment to come. So these are the things we want to reap. And it's gonna be continual up until the return of the Lord, up until the kingdom. And we want to get it on the first go around. So whatever, like the Apostle Paul said, as a matter of fact, we got you finished with that. The part you can get that is Romans, I think it's Romans 8. Yeah, Romans 8. Let me see if I can find it, but it talks about the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared to the glory that shall be revealed in us. That was it on this. And then get yeah, somewhere along there. And then at the last part, the Apostle Paul talks about nothing shall separate us from the love of the Most High.
This is James chapter 5, verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious.
The boys 8 and 18.
Okay. It says, behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth and had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. So he's likening, James is likening to it being to like being a husbandman who has to wait for the fruits of his labor. Verse 8, be also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. Right, just like a husbandman, what he has to labor, put in the work, put in the time to for the crops to produce their fruit. So what, he has to be patient. If he can't expect it to happen overnight, guess not. This is going to take some some days, some months, some weeks, over time. But eventually, what, that fruit will produce, and you'll get the benefits. Yeah, the benefits of his labor. Like verse 9, it says, grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. Verse 10, take my brethren, the prophets, who have spoken in the name of the Lord, for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job. And when you go into Job, what? Job had everything at the beginning, but what? The Lord sent Satan to take away everything he had to test his integrity. But at what? I believe one of his friends said, though thy beginning was small, yet thy latter end shall be greatly increased. So it's at the end that when Job had everything, he had twice as much as he had before.
Yep. He suffered. That was his patience.
Continue, and ye have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy.
So that's it. So let's finish it off with that. The boy, you can read 8 and 18 and then jump down to 35 and read on to the end.
All right. This is Romans chapter 8, verse 18. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Right. So there's a great glory that's coming. I mean, divine glory. Glory from the Most High. The Most High. Now, it doesn't get higher than that. Right? Hence the term Most High and his son Yahushua. That's where we're going to get glorified from. So that, and like the brother said earlier, it's going to be for eternity. Okay, that's the glory that's coming. So now when you think about it, wait, okay, so they put my picture on the news. Okay, so they say I'm a this, I'm a that, but am I? Am I really this? No, I know I'm not. The Most High knows I'm not, and I'm doing this for the Lord. Men had to lose their lives for the Lord. So I'm going through this, and in return, the Lord is the Most High, the Yahushua, the second most powerful being in all of existence, is going to glorify me. Because I stood firm for him. It would be an honor to stand firm and defend the Lord in front of the world. You're gonna be written about for that. That you stood firm against all odds for the Lord. That's what Ezra says in Second Ezra, the second chapter. Right? So that's why we know that no matter what comes your way, even if it's death, it's not going to be compared to the glory that's going to be revealed in us. The men of old were glorified for standing firm for the Lord. But the glory we're going to get is going to far eclipse even death.
There's a quote saying that men are not affected by outside events, but how they view them.
That's it. Exactly. That's a beautiful point. So it's about how, because news is just news. Now, how you take it is what determines whether it's so-called good news or bad news. I could give the same news to two people and it'll be good news to one and bad news to the other. I didn't give you good news and I didn't give you bad news. It's about how you receive it, right? So you can You can think of a loss as a loss or an opportunity for something else. It's all how you perceive it, like the brother said, right? So you think about this suffering as, oh, this is painful, this is suffering, or you can think about it as this is a necessary step for the greater good. You jump down to 35.
Right? This is Romans 8, verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Yahweh Shai?
Uh-huh.
Shall tribulation or distress
That's what's coming, right? Tribulation, distress, God,
or persecution
or persecution,
or famine
or famine.
or nakedness
Are those things going to separate you from the love of Yahweh Shai? Go ahead.
or perils or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all the day long.
Exactly. I mean, that's happened. Why were the prophets killed for standing firm for delivering the message of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? So are we going to tuck tail and run now? And if we do that, then who's going to be the remnant? Who's going to be the last stand? If we stop doing what we're doing, then who's going to do it? We've been commanded to come out here and do this. You understand that? That's a commandment. So that means that if we stop, we become enemies of the Most High. And I'll tell you this now, we fear the Most High more than we do men. All right?
We are accounted as sheep for the slaughter. Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors.
We are more than conquerors. Because when the Lord comes back, we're going to partake in the glory. We're going to be made joint heirs with the Messiah. And the truth is going to flourish, and we're going to be the governing body of all existence. Imagine that. Planets, galaxies, solar systems. We're going to be at the top of everything. Everything that comes, we're going to get priority. We're going to get dips. It's going to have to go through us before it gets anywhere else. That's the power the Lord has given. So, yeah, we'll be the ones on the bottom in this time. We'll take the L. We'll take the low route. We'll lose everything. But in losing everything, we're going to gain that and much more. Go on.
Through him that loved us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present,
So what's an example of principalities or powers? These J's. Go ahead.
nor things to come,
Mm-hmm.
nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come,
Mm-hmm.
nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Mashiach Yahweh Shah, our Lord.
There you go. All right. And we 144% agree with that. You know, so may Yahweh Hashem El Shai keep the Rakah Kodash upon us to actually stand firm and be those men. All right. Be that last stand. Be those men that get crowned for standing firm. Yahweh Hashem El Shai. First, got anything else? All right, cool. So with that, I didn't do it in the opening, but we're going to do it in the closing. Now with Thun, call Halal, Kabad, Wataba Arak, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Next time, Shalom.
Shalom.